This stream contains fast-flashing images that may affect viewers who are susceptible to photosensitive epilepsy or other photosensitivities. Viewer discretion is advised.
Last time on VCT Americas. 10 teams arrived in Los Angeles for the ultimate competition. Loud continued their domination and took down every challenger thrown their way. But then, a mysterious figure arrived and broke the timeline with a secret knife attack. Seizing the opportunity, evil geniuses summoned the power of a demon to smite their opponents and claim the ultimate prize. But soon after, tragedy struck and the champions were fractured. The stage is set for another year of battle, as well as the arrival of a mysterious new contender.
We're back, baby, and it's the Squeakquel! This 2024 season starts today and the field is wide open. Anything can and will happen. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to VCT Americas. It's day one of our kickoff event. Of course, I'm currently the man yelling at you, Golden Boy. I'm joined by a new face on the desk, but of course not a new face of Valorant Esports. We have Ender joining us here. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. I came dressed for business, though, and I didn't get the memo. What's happening?
Well, what can I say? You know, global, whatever this
global
is.
Sports speed
global
trials?
Exactly.
A lot of words up there.
Yeah,
I like it.
And I don't know if you guys know this, but we are now joined by an award winner on the analyst test.
Yes,
Yeah, thank you. I won Wyatt's weekly award, the first one of 2024. I'm so
really
proud of it.
impressive.
Yeah, it's a big deal for me.
That is exactly what we were talking about. All right, guys. Well, look, just like last year, the goal for all of this, for all the teams that are here, it's exactly the same. Make it the champions, win it all. But how we get there is going to be a little bit different this time around. So let's go ahead and take a look at how this kickoff event is going to play out.
It's time to ring in the new year with some exhilarating Valorant action. Watch all your favorite teams show their strength in the 2024 VCT Americas kickoff. Here's how it'll all go down. First, all teams, including the debut of G2, will be split into 3 groups. On February 16th through 19th and 23rd through 25th, each group will play in a GSL-style bracket, where the 3 group winners will advance directly to the semifinals. Next up, on February 26th, the number 2 seed from each group will then face off in a single round-robin play-in stage, where only 1 team will qualify and join the 3 group winners in the elimination bracket. The first competition of the year nears an end when these final 4 teams battle it out on March 2nd and 3rd. The top 2 teams will represent VCT Americas at Masters Madrid and get to start their year with a bang. The first place winner will also receive 3 championship points towards their VCT season that'll help their chances towards raising the trophy at Champions 24 later this year. Mark your calendars for when the action kicks off on February 16th. Scan the QR code on the screen to purchase your tickets today. To learn more about VCT Kickoff, check out ValorantEsports.com. and follow x.com/ValEsports_NA for more updates.
And there you hear the breakdown. And look, those 3 points that you get, the total could be the difference between you making it and, well, watching champions from home.
Absolutely. I mean, the format is new this year. Those points are now important. So every game, every stage of Americas really matters for this team.
The points are the point.
Oh, base perspective.
That's so true.
Okay.
I should be a corporate sloganer.
Yeah.
I think that's a professional job.
I'm pretty sure it's a marketing professional.
Yeah, that's the one.
But a corporate sloganer. I'll take a
I'm the
corporate
slogan
sloganer. But you know what, though? We actually do have some new faces that are going to be joining us this time around. That's right. We got G2 Esports is going to be taking the stage this Sunday versus Crew. So not only do we have new format, we have a new team added to the league. It's pretty dang awesome. But for now, though, let's focus on the task at hand because we have these 2 slots for Masters Madrid that are going to be up for grabs. And it is, of course, anyone's game. Start of the season, you love that feeling. But here is the bracket and how it plays out, right now, Mimi. These games are going to be intense.
Masters Madrid is obviously important for the teams to qualify too. But I think right now what we need to focus on is this is a chance for teams to kind of set the pecking order in Americas. No team has survived the offseason without at least some changes. Even our top squads have been shuffled around like crazy.
Yeah.
So this is an opportunity for any of these squads to establish themselves as a top dog, no matter how well or poorly they did in America's last year.
And with you coming in with all these roster changes, new patches, and such a condensed format to kick it off, this is the tournament of upsets. You're going to see a lot of things go counter to expectation. This is a chance to come in, hit the ball rolling with a brand new read on the meta. And honestly, I'm just so ready to see these teams and what they think is going to be coming in at the top of their priorities.
I'm actually glad you did mention the meta and what we're going to be seeing because we are going to be playing on patch 8.02, which if you guys are familiar, which of course, if you're watching, more than likely are, but we'll go ahead and reiterate it for you guys because we got you covered. So we made some changes, right? You got Gecko buffs coming in, Sky nerfs potentially could alter a lot of compositions. There is a lot that can happen with these changes, Mimi. And it's only just week 1, and there's another one on the horizon potentially.
Yeah, I mean, there is not a lot of time since these changes came out to now kicking things off in Americas and across the world in all our international leagues. So I think, like you mentioned, this is going to be the event about adaptation. See which team has the read on the meta. Because last year was defined by double controller Sky, and now Sky's been nerfed to a point where I think we're going to see so much more variety from that one set meta.
And you'd see a lot of double controller on these maps too, right? Your Icebox coming back in, the Lotus changes, a lot of big changes coming into this map. But I do think it's very important to talk about the Sky, because as Sky goes away without the rechargeable flashes, if you're still playing Sky, you can't be flashing off the rip, right? So that's that
Which
instant,
is huge.
It's huge, right? Because you're not getting that instant free little information, someone is here. So teams, if they're still playing Sky, they're going to adapt by not throwing those round start flashes. But more than anything, I think we see the rise of Gecko as hitting that Sky jack of all trades.
And why is that? Why is that exactly?
Because the refreshable utility, right?
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, no one really has the same level as him. You throw your Dizzy up in the air, it takes 1 second to pick him up, and then just in another 10 seconds, you have another flash, you have another piece of utility. And he's even better when you can combine him with other flashes and pair that Dizzy up.
It's honestly, it's funny because Gecko, I think on his own, really not that impressive, right? You shoot the flash, pro player's gonna be able to do that. But when you're comboing that in with a lineup flash or left click flash from your KO, a breach, any of these other things, you can't turn away from the KO flash because then Gecko still hits you, and you can't shoot to break the Gecko because then KO still hits you, right? It's just not really fun to deal with.
So you think we're gonna see a lot of double initiators?
Exactly.
Yes.
Double initiator is the wave. Double smokes is out. If teams want to keep playing double smokes, then I think we're going to see the rise of Yoru alongside Gecko as the solo initiator. You can drop your Jet Raze duelist slot, put a Yoru in there, and still get the flash combos of the Yoru Gecko.
And that's going to be interesting to see how that pans out, because we also have a big shift to the map pool coming into this year, which means that a lot of these maps, like Breeze, it has not been played in quite a long time at the pro level. We're now going to have to see these teams not only implement these new maps, but also implement in the new ages and new agents, that is, and a different meta on these maps, which is why that initial read is going to be so important, especially since this kickoff tournament, it's not week by week play. It's a tournament. So you have to get it right out the gate.
And adapt quickly, or you will just simply die. If you're a Yoru enthusiast, perhaps, then you're going to definitely want to be looking at both Breeze and Bind as the 2 highest priority maps for that coming in. I think some of the maps where Sky gets hit the hardest are probably Bind, where I think Gecko KO priority values way up. And then, of course, like she was seeing some play on Split as well. But I could still see her sticking around if you're still playing a Breach alongside that.
Yeah, and I mean, Lotus as well is one that Sky in North America was dominant. Other regions played a lot of the Fade, but here in Americas, it was almost always that Sky. I think that's going to change as well. So even these maps that are sticking around in the pool and haven't had any big changes are still going to see a big shift from last year.
Yeah, I'm just saying, as a Haven fan, I'm personally depressed that we don't have Haven.
I think a lot of people echo that.
But it is okay. Hopefully we'll see it again one day. All goody, all goody. But earlier on, we actually asked our players for their take on Icebox's return to competitive play. So actually go ahead and get their thoughts.
I loved Icebox. Icebox has been like one of my favorite maps. It was like a really good map for us on M80, and I remember NRG also liked it, so happy it's back, honestly.
O el cambio que noté mucho fue el de la parte de B, que sería que antes B tenía dos pasillos largos, ahora tal vez el que está en el side está mucho más atrapado a la hora que te ataquen.
There's not that many lanes to actually work. It's a little more simplified, so I'm kind of enjoying the simplified fact of that.
I think it's harder to anchor B on Icebox just because the whole section of mid is blocked off. It's easier for the attacker to force you into the side and trap you with mollies.
Isso é pra quem joga de defesa ali, porque não tem tanto espaço pra voltar, né? Só tem uma entrada.
De B main, que ahora un poco más fácil para el atacante tomarlo, ya que sacaran esa parte gigante donde la Jet se solían subir.
That is a big change. A lot of people just kind of stay away from B now, attackers and defenders. Defenders never really could get it, but attackers would grab that for an easy orb.
Which is kind of crazy, to be honest. It kind of changed the map in terms of how you would lurk B.
Eu acho que algunas mudanças que tiveram foram significativas, como a janela do meio.
On defense now, you can play more passive and see that lurk option that the enemy wants. You can play literally in spawn if you wanted to, and be able to spot the lurk.
E é isso, acho que agora tá um pouco mais difícil de jogar pelo meio ali quando você tá de ataque, tá um pouco mais chato.
E também diria que a parte da B agora está faz muito mais sentido, porque a vezes você tinha que se agachar para passar por alguns lugares e era muito chato, e a vezes você ficava se travando com o companheiro.
Mid is the big difference there. Me, the one who plays Sova and is always watching mid, I actually feel the difference there.
The reclears on Icebox are a lot easier now. Being able to punish 2 blocks and stuff like that is definitely way more prominent with the Icebox changes now than it was before.
I love jumping through the window, so I'll tell you that. The window's too fun.
Debían desde el conector, o sea, de la ventana, debían al B, y ahora ya no hay tantos ángulos con el que el atacante tiene que lidiar.
It's good for off angles and defenders trying to control mid a little bit faster.
And I think it's going to be interesting how teams approach that mid control now.
No, está muito legal, estoy gustando mucho yo esa nueva Icebox.
I love Icebox. I'm so excited to have this map back.
Icebox is back in the rotation. I would be shocked if we don't see it today, especially with so many teams saying that they enjoyed playing on it in that video there. But for now, let's go ahead and focus on our first squad of the day and get into today's matchup. We're going to dive into NRG versus Furia. Now, here's the thing. Last year, right, I think everyone was really big on NRG for good reason. They had a good start. Well, I shouldn't say a good start, but they had a start, and then they had a recovery that then led to a really good tail end of the season for them. And then, the rest is history.
Yeah, it was all that kind of catalyst moment halfway through the season when they kind of reinvented the way they were playing, and they went on a run in Americas, ended up making it to the finals, lose out to Loud in Americas, and then go to Champions, and everything's looking great. We have the old NRG back, and they lose to Billy Gaming 0-2 twice.
0-2?
Yeah.
Twice.
The run back. You don't want to see that. But I feel like they had the right approach when it came to the off-season post that, because if you lose at Champions, what you need to win at Champions, hear me out. You stole my joke, Mimi. I said that in rehearsal, and you just took it from me.
It's my joke now. Robbed and rolled. But they did quite possibly pick up the best off-season move they could.
That was amazing.
By grabbing Demon 1 and Ethan.
Oh, Demon 1 and Ethan.
What did they do? Here's your moment.
Well, they picked them up physically.
No. What did Ethan and Demon 1 do?
They won Champions.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
And that's what you do, because when you need to win Champions, Ender, what do? You pick up Champions. That's the line.
I love it. But honestly, you're picking up the hottest player in last year, right? Demon 1, absolute fire to see him.
And I would say probably one of the hottest players coming out of Champions, because even though everyone was talking about Demon 1, Ethan's stocks were high because he was
so
making
good.
so many plays, it was absurd.
He looks like just the best KO player, period. And now in a world where Sky's falling out of prevalence, it seems like he is in a position to thrive. And on top of that, they're picking up their old friend Marv, right? Back when this NRG roster was optic and they were going and doing amazing things in the pre-partnership era, this was the guy right there alongside him.
Yeah, big part of it.
They had a tough year with Sentinels for Marv, but now he's back with his old teammates to prove himself again.
Yeah. I feel like on this patch, they kind of have the team that can do almost anything, right? They have the ability to play multiple smokes, right? They have 2 duelist players if they want to do that, with Victor rocking on in there. If they want to switch a Demon 1 over to Chamber, he's been grinding it. He can be the opera for the team too. I think this is a team that can adapt very well patch to patch. That's a huge strength to have.
Yeah, it is a scary team for sure, and I think a lot of people are really looking forward to seeing what these guys can do. And let's continue to put a spotlight on them, right? First and foremost, I mean, Demon 1. This guy is just lit the league on fire, right? Changed the course of history, some might say. And if anything, he just continues to prove that it wasn't a fluke. This was pure talent, pure skill that led that team to that championship.
He crushed it in Americas in his rookie year when no one expected him to do well. And then he went to the biggest event of the year and he was the best player of the event. No one has done that
before. He got up on the table.
Yeah, I mean, not just in Valorant, in any esport. Can you think of a time someone in their rookie year went and won the biggest event? It's unheard of. This guy is just so
I think the
talented.
only time I could think of maybe was a BZ Call of Duty. Outside of that, that was it.
Is that guy as unapologetic as Demon 1, just coming in, talking the talk, walking the walk?
Ain't no one matches Demon 1. Let's just be front. Let's just be honest
Whoever
here.
that guy is, didn't stand on any tables.
No. Yeah, well, I think it was simping to BZ, but it doesn't matter. But the point is you're not wrong. Like, there is a case to be made for this guy doing something that was really unheard of just across esports in general, which is impressive.
And I think if you look at it, you can almost take, okay, Demon 1 coming into this EG roster, sort of like picking them back up in the middle of the year. Yeah. And then with Potter, right? Who better to sort of guide you through your first year? Demon 1 goes from joining the league out of nowhere, instantly at the top. Now moving over to NRG, get to see him on the other side of things. Potter's not there, new team around him. This is where you solidify that legacy in the league.
If you start with Potter, I then couldn't think of a better team for a still young player to come into than what is one of the most experienced cores in Valorant, this NRG teams. Crashy, Victor, and Chet have been together for ages, and it was always finesse in that mix, but now they also have a new IGL in Ethan. But the thing is, Demon 1 was just playing with Ethan back at EG. He was already mid-rounding, helping out in the calling, and I think some people have doubted, is he really an IGL? But he's like mid-rounded for every team he's played at and helped out in that regard. And it's clear that his coach has so much faith in this guy.
Exactly, right? You have the faith, and also you've got to have faith when you have the experience of those players playing together already. You already have some of those foundational building blocks that you're working upon. Ethan's going to know where Demon 1's going to want to take that up and take it in the game. And Ethan also no strangers to making the big plays himself.
Yeah, it's massive. And I think also, too, it goes without saying as well that for Ethan, this is a great opportunity for him to really be able to continue to give himself that spotlight, because I love this player and what he was able to do all throughout Champions, but he's a quiet dude. He always kind of fades away into the shadows, which I know is something he kind of prefers, but now you're stepping into that limelight. A lot of pressure here to be leading NRG after one of the best IGLs who was just leading this team, and now you're filling those shoes.
But I don't think he could be in a better position. I honestly don't feel like he is feeling that pressure, because guess who's around him? Crashies and Victor.
If they're doing their job right, he shouldn't feel that pressure.
Whenever Finesse talked about why he was such a good IGL, why he achieved so much with this core, he always talked about those two guys helping him out, pitching in ideas in the mid-round, and I expect them to do the same thing for Ethan. This is a system with those two and with Chet that is already so established that I think for a player like him, who has done so much in his career already, he's just going to be able to slide into that position and thrive.
Question for the class. Question for the class.
Are you asking them or us?
For those of you at home as well, why don't you go ahead and put let's talk about expectations. Where do you think that this team's going to land? Do you think they're going to be top 3? They're going to be top 5? Maybe top 1?
Are we talking kickoff? Are we talking end of the year?
Let's start with kickoff. Keep it simple.
Okay.
Kickoff? I know, so I've been debating this for a few times because I get nervous when I see super teams. I do not buy in.
Hasn't gone well.
But genuinely, the more I think about the roles that the players on this team can play, the history they have with one another, I think they will be one of the best teams at the start of the year. No, and I genuinely believe that whether it's Sky is dead patch this week or it's Chamber is back in the future, like this team has the flexibility to hit the ground running.
The thing is, though, they have to win, right? You come up with one of the winningest cores in Valorant, and you add in 2 world champions. If you are not coming out of the gate and thriving, instantly, so much doubt is going to be shown on this team. But I'm not worried, honestly. We saw things not go too great with Sentinels last year when they tried to build that super team. But I feel like this team has that core that has been together. They have players that have already talked in interviews about how good the chemistry is being built up. I really expect them to come out and at least hit that top 2 mark and go to Madrid.
That's fair. I mean, hey, all signs point to positives, right? Yes. But there's an opportunity here for their opponents to play spoiler, because we're going to transition over to Furia and talk about what this team is doing as they have made changes as well. Very similar situation, NRG, funny enough, where they swapped out 3 players and they added 3 of their own. This time around, though, we see some more movement. We got MW Zera back in familiar roles, and, well, we just hope that we see this Furia team live up to the potential that I'm sure their fans want them to.
And that's the thing, right? You have to latch on to MW Zera as the focal point in this team, as he always has been in the duelist role on his teams. He is out there dropping bombs on the opponents. That's our favorite little lingo back here. But no, honestly, he is the guy to carry away. And I think that if we are in a world, especially in a double flashes world or double initiator world, to support this player, that's a guy you can build a team around.
But
when
this team has played on the offseason and when he's played for teams before and it's been that duel, it's been the star, there seems to be a history of him going out and dropping bombs, as you said, and the rest of his team floundering behind it. Like, he's a player that requires so many resources, so much to be put into having him succeed, and he always does. But we've always seen him play to that level, and we've never seen him actually on a team that can support around him and give more success than just being a strong individual. And that's all I'm looking for at Furia this year. MW Zera is the known quantity. It's the rest of these players that are being picked up, given this opportunity around him, who need to succeed if Furia can live up to that hype.
Can a new IGL Conan come in with just 1 game in LCQ last year and be that sort of leader for the team to support a guy like this? That's going to be the challenge for Kickoff and however long they can keep it going.
Especially against when you got 2 world champions on the other side, one of the most consistent cores in all of Valorant. It is a tall order without a doubt. But earlier on, we had Sideshow catch up with one of the players from Furia. It's one of the new additions. It's Havoc.
Havoc, thanks for joining me. You're one of the rookies that I've got my eye on for this year. How are you looking forward to acclimatizing to life in LA?
Você é dos novatos que ele tá de olho, né? Como é que tá sendo para você se adaptar a Los Angeles?
Posso falar em português?
Pode.
Em Los Angeles está sendo muito fácil. Os moleques já tiveram experiência antes de Los Angeles aqui, então eles me passaram muito o que é feito aqui, como que é a cultura e como que é diferente, então é tudo tranquilo para mim.
Yeah, it's been easy. The rest of the team have been here before, so they're talking about culture and everything else, so it's been very easy for me.
Obviously, a big shift for Havoc, having to come here, from Brazil, make his way over to the United States to play, and it's going to be, a bit of a challenge, I think it goes without saying, especially with their first opponent. But sell me on Havoc. I want to know why this guy was such a talked about asset in last year.
You think of Brazilian superstars, who comes to mind?
Well, think of Aspas immediately.
Okay. What if I were to tell you that this is the guy who was maybe slated to replace him last year on Loud? The streets were talking.
The streets.
And that was something that could have ended up happening. Havoc last year, he was playing for the Union, the team that, went on to Ascension, ended up just losing out there and missing the spot in Americas. He didn't play with them at Ascension because he stepped away from the team, and there was rumors that he was scrimming with Loud, that he was having opportunities and being looked at by the biggest names in Brazil. This guy has been grinding in Tier 2 in Brazil for quite a while, and he has far and away been smoking everyone else in that scene. It's just been a matter of time, I feel, before a team like Furia has taken that risk and brought him to LA.
I'm going to throw a lifeline out there for all the people that maybe don't watch the Tier 2 scene in Americas. if you're an EMEA watcher, you would think of a name like Kiko coming in hot through that scene, right? Picking up a lot of talk.
Bold of you to assume that more people know Kiko than...
Hey, I'm just saying, it's early in the day. We might have some people tuning in. As you can say, the talk is very similar around those two players.
Okay. But it didn't happen, so the streets lied.
The streets lied, but now he's on Furia, which is the second
I'll
best
never trust the streets again.
How can we trust? And I'm from the streets. That's crazy. So, guys, this year, it's all about change, right? Even though this isn't really changing much. We have new rosters, and we have a new sniper that will set you back 2,400 credits. And you guys sent us a few awesome clips with it. Here's what you've been doing with the Outlaw.
Last player standing.
What the?
Spike down. One enemy remaining.
No way. One left.
You're better.
All right, so Mimi and I decided it'd be a great idea to 1v1 each other with the Outlaw. And I'm just going to be fully transparent. I do not, the sensitivity's out, but you know what, you guys, this is how we thrive.
I'm sure.
This is how we thrive.
How do you feel about this gun thus far, Chrissy? It's pretty expensive.
It's very expensive, and also, I just need to say that this 1v1 I find a little bit silly because the Outlaw is basically the counter to the light armor meta that, Fnatic took the world by storm by, but NRG did first way back in the day.
Okay.
Anyways, shout out. But you can't one-shot someone with heavy armor unless it's a headshot.
But I'm just going to headshot GB.
Yeah, but in that case, buy a Marshall.
Okay, watch.
And
where are you?
And if they're buying light armor or no armor, then again, buy a Marshall.
Are you in Breeze Halls?
I'm in Breeze Halls, yeah, that's what we agreed,
Yeah, I'm in Breeze Halls.
Are you in Halls?
Well, I was in Halls and I left because I noticed you weren't there.
You were trying to open the door?
Swine.
Why are you behind me?
Wait, also, are the Halls not there?
Am I hearing voices in my head? GB, where are you?
What is happening?
Speak me.
Wait, I thought we added Halls back. Why aren't Halls here?
Okay, so we're trying to talk about this gun, which I've just whiffed with. Peek me. Oh my
this
God.
might go on for a while. Anyway,
this is
gun
gonna be
cost
forever. We have unlimited ammo.
All right, we're not going to play. This is too embarrassing.
You can't kill me.
We're going to go to the power rankings now with Brennan Sideshow.
There we go.
Woo!
Should have had a controller. Unbelievable. My God.
Every year in the Valorant community, it is tradition to try to predict the future and have some kind of power rankings. They never work. They're always terrible. But why would that ever stop us from doing something like this?
Yeah, they've always been bad every year.
Yeah. So these are the rankings from the regular season of last year. Obviously, like playoff performance champions, that was all different. We need to add G2 in there as well.
Yeah.
Already things are going to get weird. So where shall I begin?
I mean, you want to just get started? Just put what team you think is at number one.
All right. Well, I mean, there's a super team here that's been formed to try to get the number one spot. So I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt, and I'm going to put NRG
at number one. Okay, well,
there.
Josh, but have you considered the Scrimbox? Oh, the community's been doing some research, and I really think we've got to listen to them this time around. Listen,
Okay.
100 Thieves were beating NRG on the 11th, 10-1 in a scrim.
Oh, but
so you've got to put 100 Thieves above them.
But you don't know what the end result of the scrim was.
No, and I don't know what the map was either.
Right. Well, we'll put NRG maybe down here then. We'll put 100 Thieves above them.
But okay, but what about Cloud9? They beat a mixed team. It's not an official team, but they're 4-1. They weren't. I don't know if they beat them, but they were winning the scrim. So where do you want to put them there?
I mean, based on Scrimbucks, maybe we'll put them down here for now then.
Okay, but this is also confusing me. NRG won 9-1 versus M80.
Oh, well, okay, M80 were pretty close with G2, right? When they played down there at the Ascension level.
You're going to put G2 below them?
So we're going to put G2, yeah, somewhere around here. So if we put G2 here, that explains
that
that
scrim
scrim
result. Have you considered that
result.
on the 12th that G2 were beating 100 Thieves in a scrim?
Well, now we're going circles.
But you've got to put them higher because they were beating them 10-7.
Oh, well, okay. Well, then we'll put 100 Thieves back down there.
Okay.
Okay. Well, what about Loud? Okay. I still feel pretty confident about this Loud team. They were top of Americas last year. I'm tempted to put them up there.
They haven't been scrimming. Where are the scrim results?
I know that they've been scrimming since October.
They haven't been scrimming.
Okay, you haven't found them, but that doesn't mean that they haven't been scrimming.
They haven't been scrimming.
All right, well, talk to me about Leviathan. They've also constructed a super team, kind of, for this year. They've got to be somewhere high up towards the top.
They beat a Challengers team 8-1. They're beating a Challengers team in a scrim. That was on the 14th.
Right. What does that tell me?
I don't know.
Okay, that doesn't tell me anything.
No, just get more stickers.
Okay,
please.
Furia, EG.
Furia, EG, where's EG? They're 6-2 against an unknown team.
Well, if they're unknown,
it could have been Bleed. It could have been Yay on the opposite side.
But it could have been us on the opposite side as well, Brent.
Okay, 6-2.
What about Furia?
Furia, nothing.
Okay, well, I'm gonna put them down there for now then, I guess, and we'll figure them out afterwards.
We've got a time of 1 minute left.
What about Sentinels? We've only got a minute left,
Sentinels.
Brent. What have Sentinels
Sentinels 12-8 versus an unknown team again.
But what kind of unknown team,
I don't know. I
can't do anything with these kind of scrim results.
Well, 100 Thieves beat G2 14-4.
Oh, I mean,
well, that's going to flip it around again.
What am I doing? 14-4? Well, we'll put G2 down there.
G2 down there. Okay.
And then Sentinels. I'll put Sentinels at the top for now, just a placeholder.
Sentinels, you're losing the stickers, Josh. Sentinels.
Yeah, I know. They're going flying.
I'm looking. I'm trying to find something.
MIBR and Crew. Okay, Crew haven't made a huge amount of changes since last year. Oh, we've lost G2.
We've lost G2. Put them back up.
Okay.
G2. G2 beat Lev.
G2 beat Leviathan.
G2 beat Lev.
Dude, okay, let me just get these on the board for starters. And then, right, you hold these here.
Okay.
You hold them there. And what did you say? G2 beat Leviathan in a scrim?
G2 beat Lev in a scrim.
All right, so what if I do this then?
But G2 also lost to Oxygen.
And well, Oxygen should be at the top then.
Yeah, Oxygen really should be. Do we have an Oxygen sticker?
They're winning kickoff.
We got how much? 3 seconds? Okay. We're done, I think.
Man, wild to think we gave them 2.5 weeks for that. But folks, the party starts right now. Let's kick off VCT America's 2024 kickoff.
Hi guys, welcome to day one. So to decide who's team A and team B, I'll flip this coin. If it's on the VCT logo, then Furia will be A, NRG will be B. If it's on the VCT America side, then Furia will be B and NRG will be A. Alright, so Furia will be A and NRG will be B. So you will have the first map ban. What would you like to ban?
Sunset.
Okay. You said Sunset?
We'll ban Bind.
Okay. Furia ban Sunset, NRG ban Bind. And you have first map pick.
Breeze.
Breeze? Furia pick Breeze. And would you like attack or defense?
We'll take defense.
All right, NRG will be defense. And then you will pick map 2?
We'll pick Ascent.
All right. NRG pick Ascent.
Defense.
Furia pick defense. So now you have one map ban.
Lotus.
Furia ban Lotus. And you have the last map ban.
Ban Icebox.
NRG ban Icebox. So the default map will be split. And then you have side pick. Would you like attack or defense? Attack. Furia pick attack. All right, so just to run back through it real fast. Furia ban Sunset, NRG ban Bind, Furia pick Breeze, NRG pick Defense, NRG picked Ascent, Furia pick Defense, Furia picked Lotus, or sorry, Furia banned Lotus, NRG banned Icebox, and then default map was split, and Furia picked Attack.
Yeah.
All right, best of luck today.
And second back. Back to Riot instead, but he's going to go swinging. Oh my gosh!
When you're 2-0 down and didn't really have a chance. Vai que não dá pra ele! A Loud é campeã do VCT América!
Eventual fight. Just waiting. Victor swings across. Swing. He's gonna get this. 4 seconds. He's gotta go. Oh my God. For Jake.
Some strike. Just enough time.
Is this another tense moment? The swing is there, and the shot is 2 from 10.
Primeras tormentas. Pecho. Va por la segunda.
And we are not done yet. G2.
It's a dead one. EU tries to hang on to it, but no! It's Trent to find the final kill!
The same old story. The winning squad gets dissolved the moment they win and never gets back to what it was.
Hold on. I'm here.
I'm here. Eu tô aqui. I'm here.
Tô aqui.
Eu tô aqui.
I'm here.
I'm here.
I'm here.
Eu estou aqui. Acho não, tenho certeza que é o Dream Team do NA agora, né? Eles montaram esse time pensando em ganhar tudo aqui no VCT Américas.
My team now is even better on paper, and the expectations are probably even higher than last year.
Pode acontecer literalmente qualquer coisa, porque eles são um time novo, a gente também é um time novo. Então não tem como ter uma, esperar algum resultado, não tem fixo.
Haven't even seen their roster, don't know who's on the team since last year, don't really care either. Probably gonna win and move on to the next team.
Não é nome que vai ganhar o jogo, é preparação, é o momento ali, quem vai estar mais confiante, quem vai tomar as melhores decisões. Eles sabem disso, a gente também sabe, tudo é resolvido no servidor.
Riot Games Arena, it is finally time to kick off the 2024 season. For our first team, please welcome on stage, Liazi, MW Zera, Conan, Havoc, Khalil. Give it up for Brazil's Furia! Now facing Furia, it is North America's powerhouse team that everyone is looking forward to. Please welcome on stage, Demon One, Marved, Ethan, Crashies, Victor. It is NRG!
Here we go. The start of the Valorant 2024 season begins right now, and what a way to start things off as we have a powerhouse, rightly stated, of North America and NRG. And then on the other side, you have some plucky underdogs who could potentially, well, shock us all if they pull off a win here today, Mimi.
This NRG squad was built for greatness. It's the winningest core of 2022 coming back together with the world champs of last year. They seem destined for a top spot, to go to Madrid, to be the best in Americas, but they're up against the Furia with new players, with unknown names, having a real potential to break through here, and with the meta shifting, with new maps, this is a huge chance for an upset.
Look, I will call your underdog story, but I will raise you MW Zera on these first 2 maps we're kicking it off on. Okay. Sure, NRG favorites coming in, but when you're starting on Breeze and then moving to Ascent, those are the op maps. Those are the jet maps. maps. Let's look beyond the big names, the two teams. It's Demon 1 versus MW0.
Well, I was gonna challenge that and be like, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm excited for MW0, but yeah, you're dealing with Demon 1.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, yes, the stocks are high for MW0, always have been. But come on, man, he's a world champion, right? At this point, you gotta put respect on his name.
You absolutely do. But MW has also performed against absolutely anyone put in his way. He is so talented at the top level, and it's just been waiting to find that team that he can actually win with.
You can simplify these maps, right, and look to go hunt out. Halls is opened up. We're going to see Jet players flying down that. We may not even see the Jet, of course, right? Yoru, a big pick. How do teams adapt to the sky changes, double smokes, all of these ideas? Throughout challengers and a lot of the offseason, a lot of people on Breeze are just playing the same old comps. Your Viper, your KO, your Cypher, etc.
Oh, it seems like we're on that path.
We're seeing a lot of that.
Yeah, Victor locking in the Cypher. There's a lot of questions about what role that guy's going to play. And with him locking in the Cypher, it means we're almost certainly getting that Demon 1 MW Jet head-to-head.
Yeah, I mean, my only question is, has anyone been putting in some time on the Yoru? Because that is the pick that can really turn this map upside down. But ultimately, that is also what I'm expecting. I think especially on defense, it's so important to get out early, build up your economy by winning pistols so you can get an up online round 3, round 4.
Well, something also tells me, too, like, if you're NRG in this position, you fancy yourself going quite deep into this tournament. You don't want to really give up a lot of stuff right now. So perhaps this is them just playing safe, but could it bite them in the butt, though?
This core has also had a history of starting slow.
That is true.
I think for a super team now this year, they have to come out the gate swinging.
I will say, looking at Sova getting locked in here, I think the changes to Breeze giving Halls back has made Sova much more effective of an agent. A lot of Sova players like to float between Nest and Halls. You can sometimes avoid putting a trip down on those Halls, especially on the Cypher. If you can play with double kill trips and you have a great floating Sova, that can open you up to just dominate those defensive holds. The tripwires you can place now on the B side are just impossible to deal with.
And the other guy that's going to be so strong on those holds is Marv. His teammates in interviews during the offseason talked about how he kind of wasn't himself with Sentinels last year, but now he is back with the boys he was the best with, and he has the freedom to be an anchor, to be a lurker on that Viper. And of course, Demon 1's on the Jet.
It's Jet v Jet, baby. Doesn't get better than that.
Yeah, that's actually the best way you could possibly start things off here at VCT America as a kickoff the 2024 season. But folks, we got ourselves a full house. Why don't you give yourselves a round of applause for being so dang awesome. We got fans watching all around the world, and you know what we're missing? 2 mustachio gentlemen. That's right, folks. We're sending it over to your casters. It's Brent and Sideshow.
Thank you very much, guys. Let's get this one started, man. Seriously, it's been 174 days. I'm trusting the guy at the front with the sign on that one. I didn't count the days, but it's been a long-ass time. And finally, we're going to get this 2024 season started here in the kickoffs. And all roads really do lead to Madrid here. That's what both these teams here are playing for in this interesting, weird format that we've got, honestly, with the 11 teams. But it is important matches off the rip here.
It definitely is. For Furia, in this group, their biggest obstacle is this first game against NRG. If they can make an upset happen at the beginning of the year right now, where they are so correct, nothing is certain. Big names don't always win big games. There is some uncertainty in the air about how all of these teams are going to perform. Don't believe the desk when they tell you that this is a powerhouse team that's destined for success. We don't know yet. We just don't know. They've got to go out there and prove it. They've proved it in the past, but how are they going to play together here?
It almost feels like the perfect format for a couple of upsets that maybe happen as well early on. You think about the sky changes that happened, really just like a bit of a curveball for the teams, to be honest.
Massive curveball.
They've been practicing a lot of these comps and they got shifted only a few weeks ago.
Some of these teams might have been planning to play Sky on Breeze. We saw some teams in the offseason running double initiator, Harbor Viper, and I don't think that we're going to be seeing very much of that. People very much relying now on that KO, Sova, Cypher composition that we saw so much way back when. We haven't really seen Breeze been played since 2022. It's been a while. Such a long time to see this map. And it lends itself a lot to defensive aggression, to getting your Jet players set up on aggressive angles. Most of the time, it doesn't really make sense to boil games down to the Jet versus Jet. Everyone likes it, they like talking about it, but it normally doesn't really play out like that. Breeze tends to. Actually, it tends to come down to which Jet can cause the most chaos on the defense side and which duelists can really open up space on the attack side too. So considering that we haven't seen Demon 1 really play Jet on this map at the tier 1 level, because Breeze wasn't Breeze wasn't here while he was having his rookie year, winning champions. So this is going to be new.
Which is just insane.
Domains.
Yeah, absolutely insane for a rookie player to go out and just win the entire thing for the opening year of them playing. But that's Team 1 for you as well. I mean, a quick update as well. We waited a long time in this off-season. Going to be waiting a little bit longer. There's a couple of checks, you know, last-minute checks, just seeing what the teams are getting ready as well before we get into the match itself. But yeah, the Jet head-to-head, something I'm going to be really interested into. On Breeze specifically, how they being set up as well. Ethan on the KO.
Yeah.
I mean, he was being picked up big time by Crashies, I think, as well, in a lot of these interviews, so, talking about his KO.
Ethan's amazing.
Yeah.
He's absolutely amazing. But also, because Breeze has been around for quite a long time, a lot of these players are going to have really good supportive utility. I was actually watching some Havoc gameplay during the offseason. He's had to switch his role. He was a duelist player previously, right? That Des was talking about him maybe filling in for Aspas. That was something that Loud were thinking of in this offseason. But he's moved over to a more supportive flex role, and I think that's where he's really shining in the offseason games that I've seen. His supportive flashes for MW to be able to peek off, some of that timing has been immaculate from Furia, and that was earlier. You know, we haven't seen any of these teams play for like at least a month while they've been honing stuff, ready for the season to begin. And already Furia looked like they had some dangerous weapons in their arsenal that NRG are going to have to maneuver around.
Okay, well, just to give you an update as well, we're going to have to remake the map real quick, hopefully as fast as possible. Listen, I know. We
build it from the ground up.
Build it from the ground up, finally. Listen, and we're going to get into the game as soon as humanly possible. That's my hopes and dreams, at least, you know, that we do get into this one. So
we've been waiting long enough. What was it, 173 days?
Listen,
let's make it 174.
Let's come back to 174. You want to do 175?
175.
You're getting jeered by the crowd, Josh. You're getting jeered, man. Yeah, hopefully getting into it soon enough. I mean, Lord knows it's been long enough here. It's a nice rest, though.
It has, but I think all of these players will be itching to play.
Yeah.
Especially for the people who've got a new challenge on the table. Both of these teams, right?
And also, I mean, individuals looking for like a bit of a chip on their shoulder, something to prove. Marv as well. I know this guy's hungry for it. He feels like that last year, that stint that he had on Sentinels was not a good showcase, not at least compared to his peaks that he's had prior, playing with this old core that he's now reunited with.
Yeah, and I would agree with that. I think Marv didn't really show his peak while he was playing for Sentinels, but he did have a lot of learning moments. He's talked about it, his teammates have talked about it too, that he's more confident with his communication now, he's more confident in terms of bringing ideas to the team. To be honest, that can be a bit of a double-edged sword, because one of our biggest focuses during this match is going to be to take a look at how NRG functions as a squad, the calls that they're making. Are they able to perform when daddy's not home? When daddy isn't able to call, is Ethan going to be able to step up and do the job?
Okay.
You know, it's quite difficult to think about Finesse being a really world-class caller, like one of the most successful we've ever had in the game, and also have the opinion that NRG are going to be fine without him. It's quite difficult to believe both of those things at the same time.
Yeah.
But that's the faith that people have in the experience of people like Ethan and the rest of NRG, that they're going to be able to adapt and overcome that challenge.
That's the hopes as well. Well, listen, no secrets here. You can see the updates occurring on the screens. They're remaking the game itself as well. In the meantime, the Outlaw is actually available for competitive play, but are the pros going to use it? Here's what Tens, Aspas, and others think about Valorant's new sniper.
There's a new gun in Valorant. It's called the Outlaw. It is 2,400 credits. It shoots 2 bullets and then it reloads. If you shoot 1 bullet and reload, it reloads faster. It has the same scope as a Marshall, and if you hit a headshot, you'll kill them.
This gun's unique from a Marshall and Operator just because the Marshall one-shots people with no armor, and the Outlaw one-shots people with half armor.
O que ela tem de único comparado com as outras snipers é o fato que você dá um tiro e você já pode dar outro tiro sem ter que tirar o scope. Basicamente, você dá 2 tiros no mesmo tempo.
It definitely feels more of like a kind of like a sentry sniper. It's the fact that it only shoots 2 bullets, and once the 2 bullets are shot, it takes a really long time to reload. So right away, if you can hear for the 2 bullets, it is really hard for them to like repeat.
Para mim, o diferencial da Outlaw é que quando você tá com ela, o seu inimigo ele não pode usar a economia dele de qualquer jeito. Ele tem que equilibrar a economia dele para conseguir fazer o shield pesado, porque todo mundo já sabe que ela mata com um tiro com shield leve, então você tem que balancear a sua economia, você tem que controlar a sua economia mais...
No sé, yo creo que la economía es lo que más afecta, porque no podéis comprar como el chaleco chico.
I think the main scenario that the Outlaws used on maps like Ascent, Icebox, Breeze, like kind of the jet maps, those maps also super long range, so the gun is obviously going to have value. I don't think it really impacts much of the other maps because of the gun's like very punishing to use if you don't hit your shot, and Jet's like the agent that can get out.
Eu acho que na Breeze contra Echo é basicamente quase impossível do time que tá Echo ganhar dela, porque ela te mata com um tiro no peito, de muito longe, ela dá 2 tiros de uma vez, então só pra matar ela, só se ela estivesse recarregando, então seria bem difícil.
Teniendo Aspa, que es una de las mejores operators del mundo, el mejor marshal del mundo, y ahora la otra también para mí el mejor del mundo, entonces algo que agradezco que esté a nuestro favor y no en mi contra.
I've been using it, and it's just watching people drop, you know, with a one shot to the body. It's definitely fun. Yeah, you're definitely going to see it in VCT this season.
Oh, welcome back, everybody. Okay, quick update time, all right, for everybody. 4 to 5 minutes. That's the time that I've been given to ETA. No, 4 to 5.
Oh, 4 to 5.
Don't have a heart attack, mate. Okay,
right.
chill.
You scared
all right?
me.
I'm
You
sorry.
scared me.
4 to 5 minutes. Listen, it's been like a 6-month-long off season. What's 5 more minutes?
Exactly.
Hopefully, I'm absolutely telling myself that. But we will be getting into it at some point.
Yeah.
And the teams, I mean, they are chilling.
They're
Big chilling.
vibing. They are vibing. It's interesting to see the different players' approaches to
to like how much pressure they think is on them in a match like this and this kind of thing. The Furia players, I think, just enjoying being up there on the stage for the first time. And to be honest, most of the NRG players as well are just so relaxed in matches like this because they've just been mega experienced. Or like Demon 1, who's only played 1 year at the tier 1 level. They actually, dude, Demon 1, he's not a real human.
He's really not. He's
Nothing
actually
phases him.
Interviews, he's just unfazed, unbothered.
He said he didn't know who was on Furia.
Yeah, he said he didn't know he was on Furia. He said he hasn't touched the game in an interview previously for 4 to 5 months after winning the championship, by the way. Just jump back into scrims.
He won't be any worse as well.
No, he actually won't be.
I highly doubt.
He's a different breed, honestly. And yeah, you don't really see too many players like Demon 1
He needs to be
often.
studied.
He does, yeah. Own him in a lab or something. Let's get 5 Demon 1s on the team.
5 Demon 1s, yeah. I don't know whether that would function particularly well, but it would kill everybody on the other side. So, yeah, you got that.
Yeah, well, we want to hear what you think about today's first match as well. Go and chat and spam who you are pulling for. Type in NRG or Furia, or FUR, I suppose.
Okay, NRG or FUR.
Yeah, FUR.
And what? We've got the ability to...
Apparently, we've got the ability to track this.
Wait, new technology?
If you spam the chat this time with those things of what team you think is going to win.
Okay.
And it's going to show up a little poll, I've been told.
That's
Magical
sick.
technology.
Okay, we've
potentially.
Got the new,
I don't know how this
tech.
works, Josh. I'm going to be honest with you. I haven't seen this.
Well, I actually do. There's a guy in the back who goes through and just has to tally up every single person that's typing in the chat. Yeah.
Poor soul. Is that Kurt we got on that? Or?
Yeah. I'm personally paying him, and to be honest with you, Brent, it's not much.
Not much.
It's not much.
Go and rates.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, wow. Oh. That is absurd. Okay.
Okay, I can guarantee you there is a higher chance that Furia win this than 5%.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, 95%.
And I think this kind of plays into what I was talking about earlier, that even though NRG are a super team, all right, I agree with that, and they have an insane roster, unbelievable roster, you've also got to take into account, this is the beginning of the year. You've never seen this roster play before. You don't know how great the IGLing style is going to be, and it's possible that it might take them a little while to figure stuff out. We've seen other amazing teams, PaperX from last year, EG from last year, NRG from last year, all took a little bit of time to warm up. So people are super high on this squad, but I seriously think there is a chance for Furia to come out and play really well today and surprise 95% of people watching.
I agree. I mean, all the changes as well that we've already been mentioning, you got to think these teams have been cracking on different patches. We had the Sky changes coming in as well. That changes a lot of comps, to be honest. I mean, Sky was just the standard. It was the jack of all trades initiator. You can't be really, relying on her too much anymore, not in the comps if you do want to run her. And that has changed teams' practice a little bit as well. It wipes the slate clean almost as well as you head into the kickoff tournament, where, listen, at the beginning you have a bit of a safety buffer. You have, of course, your lower brackets for the first stage of it, first portion. But funnily enough, the deeper you go in, the less chances you get as well. If you actually make the playoffs, it's only a couple of games that really stand between you and potentially making it to Madrid. And for some teams, it's literally 2 games.
Yeah, for EG specifically.
Yeah, exactly. For EG in particular.
Yeah, but I think it would be huge if Furia were able to get an upset win today, because not only would that cement them as a serious squad that people have to start taking notice of, and I think, to be honest, they should already be in that kind of conversation as a bit of a dark horse because of the talent that's on the team. Havoc's a big hitter. We saw Khalil light the world on fire in week 1 and 2 last year, and MW's always MW. He's always putting up big numbers. So they're a dark horse squad, but at the same time, if they can beat NRG today, not only does it put them on the map, but it also means that their next match coming up should, in theory, be a little easier. It's the winner of C9 MIBR, and that, if they were able to win, would put them through to the playoffs of kickoff. So, there is a lot on the line here, specifically, I think, for the Furia squad.
Well, in the meantime, let's hear from Crashies and his thoughts on moving Ethan into that IGL role as well. Check this out.
So the transition from FNS to Ethan has been really easy, I would say. We knew each other outside of Valorant, and he's known Chet and all of us for years. So like I said, the transition was pretty easy. And then him being IGL, I feel like it's kind of on us to help him succeed, just because we learned so much from FNS. So we can't put everything on him. It's kind of on us to help him succeed in that role, because he's never really taken the head role of IGL before. On EG, he was just kind of mid-rounding really well, and yeah, he's never really had the sole status of being an IGL. So I think we're definitely going to try and support him to be successful, and hopefully, it works out.
Right, well, I said, 4 to 5 minutes.
Yeah. Did you like to
Have you been counting?
Yeah.
You set a timer?
It's been about 5 minutes, actually.
Has it been about 5 minutes?
Yeah, we ready to go?
Give me 1 minute more.
1 minute more?
Are you going to break my kneecaps if I say 1 minute more?
I might do.
Don't. I mean, listen, come on. I want to see the game too. But yeah, they are remaking the map. You can see the players, they're jumping around in the practice range. We're getting everything situated. We need a few more minutes. Give me a few more minutes, please. Give me a bit of time.
Well, I
can get the money together. Just give me the time.
I want to talk a bit about what Crashies was saying about Ethan becoming the IGL there. They've got a lot of players on this team that have done a lot of mid-rounding in the past. And one of the reasons why I think it might work for NRG is that Chet is a heavy strat caller. He builds out a playbook, sorry, not a plat book. That's what people in rank play with. But he builds out a playbook, and then he can pull strats from that while the game is happening live, and then he can allow the really competent mid-rounders on the team, like Ethan, Crashies, and Marv, to make calls based on the information that they then see off the back of that. So I think Chet's the perfect coach to try to implement a system like this. And the teams just got stacked with talent that have that mid-rounding experience. So yeah, they don't have that player with huge history as an IGL. But I think if there was any team to make it work that wasn't Paper Rex, it might actually be this NRG squad. We will simply have to wait and see. And today will be their first test.
Yeah.
When we get started.
When we get started, of course. Yeah. I mean, hopefully sometime soon. How many times have I said that?
Yeah. I mean, you're wearing on me now, man. You're wearing on me.
I'm just
my
eager.
patience.
I'm eager.
No, I'm eager as well. What a match to set stuff off, though, because I think this is going to be explosive. It's the first test of a big super team, and one of the teams that everybody's tuning in to see whether they can compete with the best in the world. And at the same time, it's an interregional matchup within Americas too. You got a North American super team playing against one of the top teams from that kind of South American, Brazilian region that has been putting out extraordinary talent. Just most of it has ended up on Loud.
Yeah.
So this is like the other collection of players that have been performing really well. MW has performed at the top level many times before. Havoc's been performing really well at the tier 2 level last year. Like I said, Khalil's been good. Conan was on the bench but has learned a lot and been trying to apply that over the offseason with his IGL in. So yeah, this should be an extremely fun way of starting the season.
Yeah, really should be. Okay, well, a short break is needed. Don't shoot a messenger.
No.
Okay, on the other side of things, I hope, crossing my fingers, we'll have the game ready.
And I'll come back and do a solo cast.
Exactly. And then you'll know exactly what's happened to me. And please, somebody find out. All right? Find out for my sake.
Welcome back, lovelies, to VCT America. So sorry that you're hearing my voice. I called everyone lovelies. They're all, look at them, they're so lovely.
Are you a 1950s diner waitress?
Golden Boy, that's a camera.
No, that's people there. Can't you see?
No.
That's us on the TV behind the camera.
He thinks the Killjoy turn's alive.
Hey, Johnny Five. Anyway, that's a reference. So, unfortunately, we had a little bit of a delay, as you guys can already tell. That goes without saying. So, hopefully, we'll be able to get this resolved relatively soon. For now, though, stick around with us until we're ready to send you over, because Bren just mysteriously disappeared. Crazy.
Something about his knees. I don't know.
Something about his knees, right? Yeah. He was like being dragged out. Kind of confusing. Anyway, let's go ahead and talk about, though, our first map, what we're going to be seeing here. We get Breeze and changes with this map. We got ourselves a new weapon. Compositions aren't that different, but Chrissy, to start with you and really just dive in, I guess, into like what we should be expecting, what viewers at home should be expecting with the changes to Breeze.
Well, first of all, we expect to see a lot of the same comp. We saw mirror comp at the start, and that is gripe number one.
Is this Ender's gripe list or something like that? Is gaming grievances?
It is, because, look, I don't have that many problems.
Pulls out CVS.
Personally.
I only have 23 problems. Okay.
But Halls is one.
Okay, Halls is one.
One second.
Problems in Halls is all of them.
Why are there halls? Like, things could come around the corner at the end of a hall.
Well, how else are you going to get between spaces?
The open road.
The open road, maybe.
Point A to point B.
I love my truck.
Make your way through. But do you feel like, granted, with the compositions being being similar, being literally the same, do we feel like, though, that the skill expression kind of comes into, like, you know, whether or not they want to incorporate some of these new things, like the Outlaw, into their gameplay? Or I think I heard Brendan Sideshow talking about, like, maybe it's more of like a countering type of thing rather than, like, you actually, like, wanting to run the Outlaw.
The Outlaw, that is?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think the Outlaw it's not game-breaking. It's not something you're going to see every round or even many rounds. I feel like it fits a very specific, like, economic situation where you have enough money to buy it and your opponent doesn't have enough for full armor. Say they like forced up and they have to buy into this round, like it's last the half, so you're going to get a one-shot guaranteed. Or they're on an eco, you're not. Things like that. It has a lot of little niches it can fit into. Because also, if you're a good player, you can make it work even against armor. But I really don't expect to ever see players just buying it in rifle versus rifle rounds when you could just get a
I call a wager.
Wager, yes.
Chances are Demon 1 picks the Outlaw.
He'll have an Outlaw.
He'll have one.
On this map.
Okay.
Yeah, because
no more than twice.
Ultimately,
no more than twice.
Yeah.
Okay.
It depends how many ecos I
take those
what's happening. Because ultimately, this is how the Outlaw purchasing works. Some teams will just buy it on round 2, because, like, hey, if you buy Outlaw on round 2 and enemy team bought Sheriffs, they're cooked on round 3 because they can only get a Vandal and half armor, right? So then your Outlaw gives you a big chance to win in round 3. Outside of that, you're going to see teams do that against Fnatic, although ultimately Fnatic will just not be able to buy 5 light armors anymore, because then other team is getting a 2,400 credit operator. So that's kind of out, and you have to, like, mix and match your economy a little bit more.
So that strategy definitely takes a little bit of a backseat, potentially.
But only if you're, like, being counter-stratted actively.
Yep. Only if you're doing the
know you're doing it and realize, hey, these guys are running half armor, then you can kind of do it preventatively. But I don't expect teams to, without knowledge of who they're playing against and that they are a half armor team, are going to do it. And for that reason, I think we won't see teams that are exclusive half armor teams.
Yeah, I heard that Mini stopped being the head coach of Fnatic because he couldn't tell his players to buy half armor every round.
That was actually all he did.
That was all he did, famously. It's like, buy half armor, buy the Mini armor.
That's awesome.
Hi, Minnie. We miss you, buddy. So then I guess with that, then, since it's not really going to create that much of a difference here, I guess looking at this map, you know, kind of in a broader picture, then maybe this is an opportunity, though, for Furia to take something like this to the cause, or to the task, rather, of NRG, right?
Ultimately, Breeze is the jet map. It's the op map. Like, it's one of those maps where
if there's a map to upset just by MW having a game, it's Breeze.
It's going to happen. And to wrap up the Outlaw for just a second.
Yeah,
there you go. I said it word for word.
Heard it here first.
No, to wrap it up, I do think the interesting choice that you make with the Outlaw is, okay, your team has money, enemy team at max has a half buy here, or they're forcing light armor Vandal. do I go Outlaw to, you know, destroy this round, but the next round, am I dropping that? If we die, maybe I can turn it into a rifle. Or do I buy the Operator, which is more investment up front, but then you are saving that over into the future round. So I'm personally of the camp that enemy team has a half buy, you take the Outlaw. Chances are you aren't going to flawless, and then you just trade that out for a gun.
Sure.
Yeah, interesting that, you know, now it's like you're going to have these financial decisions that could, you know, maybe have ramifications like throughout the game, right? I mean, you buy the Outlaw, you whiff, you screw up, oh, and then you're screwed. You know?
It's just like real life.
No, like, I mean, I have to wonder, like, what am I buying now? We've got taxes come. I'm just like, man, it's too much.
It's too much. The numbers are too much. Guys, we're going to be starting the game in a little bit here. As soon as we're ready to go, we're going to be jumping into the action. We do have our maps laid out. It's Breeze, and then NRG went with Ascent, which I was saying before, they ain't showing nothing. I don't think these guys want to give any information to anyone now.
I will say, Chrissy, you're a fan of non-standard comps on Ascent.
Look, Teddy Tactics, we like to play some crazy stuff.
Hat.
You want me to put on
put on the Teddy Tactics coach.
Okay. Here's what we're rocking with, and this is not leaking because we played it already. But we are doing okay. How much do I say? I have to be a little bit like political in my answer.
You have to be political.
This is kind of fun. Okay. Here's the comp: Breach, Raze, Cypher.
2 more, quick.
Astra. Guess the last one.
Quick. I can't, because I gotta
we
throw
don't
it.
have time.
I gotta throw it to Brandon Sideshow.
We're playing default comp.
Just got the call. Just got the call. All right, well, I did get the call. That good news is the game is starting. That's right, people. So let's go ahead and send it back over to Brendan Sideshow, and hopefully this time they don't break the game.
Or the
Woo, yippee! We're getting into the game. Let's go. I've been chewing on the desk, man. Let's get it started. Finally, Furia versus NRG, our newest super team on the block versus some up-and-comers as well. The Brazilian team with a lot to prove, and they could take a bit of a heavy scalp, honestly, if they manage to best and beat NRG here in our kickoff bracket early on.
Yeah, this would be massive. Victor was talking in an interview, and he said, unless they make it to Madrid and make it deep at Madrid, and then make every event this year, and make top 4 at every event this year, it's been a bad year for NRG. So, talk about putting a bit of pressure on yourself.
Yeah.
NRG have come into this with massive expectations. Let's have a look at the pistol round. It looks like NRG want to get some aggression going in mid. Early on, Furia over towards elbow. Dodging out this early flash recon kind of combo. But NRG are going to get a lot of info in mid that they are not there.
Nobody was ready to receive it. Here's the reaction, though. Wall goes up now straight into the B side. The knife connect. No, it didn't. There's still one trip up. Get themselves into the site, but no backside control. Still, the plant is there. 5v5 now. On the retake. Denial there of knife.
Normally, these teams on the retake are going to battle for the window position. Look how many Furia players are ready to collect Crashies.
And here it is, Crashies. The trip's broken. Gets the one, but instantly returned. It's Conan there, still holding his ground as well. Now Demon 1 activating the dash. He knows there's a player window. Time is running short. They're taking a long bloody time with this one. You got to get a move on, seriously. Kills need to be found. Molly at the feet. Liazzi still, he's vulnerable himself. Taken out, just a single shot will do it, but still it's time. The biggest issue. And it just took far too long with it. Furia. The round just unraveled there for NRG, but they're going to be winning that pistol round and happy for it.
It's the kind of pistol round, though, where both teams just miss each other completely in terms of what the game plan was. There was nobody anchoring the B site because NRG were banking on that being a bit of mid-control for Furia. That was not the case. So for NRG, that B retake did look torturously slow. But let's wait until we see a couple of the rifle rounds to see exactly how that kind of stuff goes and whether there's a pattern developing. On the other side of things, though, Furia buying up 3 Bulldogs, rifle. Yahtzee even buying to make sure that MW has enough money for an attack side operator coming up as well. You can see that MW with the rifle still has 2,200. Demon 1 is trying to get aggro here. Even with only full classics, they're just trying to group up and see if they can catch somebody that was containing over towards A.
Yeah, make a play. Maybe if there was one player holding it, but no, everybody's grouped up towards B. Unsteady. Shock just in case it's a trip into the corner. Order util send flying as well, making sure to just clear through onto the side, but Victor's nowhere to be seen.
Yeah, look at the utility that Furia are using. This is going to be probably a quite standard B execute. You've got flash recon, updraft to get over the initial trip that Victor might be laying down, and then there's a KO molly towards the back of sight as well. But these are all the kind of things that had NRG actually had a couple of players there, they would start to learn about.
Ooh, okay. Look at nice of it against the eco.
And Crashies and Liazzi just
Okay.
Looking the other way. Clean beginning for Furia with a couple of B hits.
All the guns surviving.
Here's something I noticed about Furia in the offseason. They've just got a new coach in, right? Who unfortunately can't be here with them today, but I'm sure is still in communication with them, obviously. But they have started off their Breeze games by hammering one side of the map at the start of the game, and then they open up and start doing different things. So really trying to hardcore do something to condition their opponent at the start of Breeze. It looks to me like they're going for heavy execs at the start of this to try and pull NRG towards the sites.
Here.
Maybe later on they'll start to exploit mid.
Flash to set it up with the recon as well. Demon 1, he's tucked to the corner now. Players in his face, lots of chances, lots of opportunities.
What a flash.
And it is beautiful! 3-4. Clear court in halls.
One enemy remaining.
And the idea in this round, the distraction that's supposed to allow for Khalil Aliassi to do anything. NRG did not need any more help on site than a couple of flashes from Ethan and Demon 1 collecting names.
And Crashes was bigging up Ethan on the KO. A lot of his setups, a lot of his flashes. I mean, Ethan, he's a cerebral player.
Take a look at that flash. That is perfect.
That catches all of them.
Yeah, everybody. And then it's only that one duel towards the end, which Demon 1 manages to collect. But that also frees up the rest of NRG to start looking towards halls. They don't have to run and help Demon 1.
Yeah.
So, first round on the board for this America's Super Team. And Demon 1 looks like he wants to try and contest with a flash into mid.
Did dart. Breaking it.
Did that catch onto Liaz?
It did, yeah. Nobody broke it.
So now you see Furia, after going for hard execs 3 rounds in a row, now they're starting to explore mid, but here is Demon 1.
Versus drone. Just spotting it out. Liazzi off to the side, was hoping to try and get a lurk time with the orb up. Still can do. Really threatening this. That slow beginning into mid. Demon 1 might just be the playmaker once more. It's an off angle. Slightly ajar. They're not expecting it. There's the return. MW.
Good trade.
Kill. Yeah, great trade. And he's still alive into the action. Into the site now. 55 seconds. Plenty of time left into this round. Back at the site. NRG just slowing it down, making sure to contain. But Liazzi could really be a difference maker.
NRG are aware of it, but that doesn't mean they can deal with it.
Into mid as well. That's marked. Good kill. Still, here's Liazzi. Finds the one, finds a second. Door being closed in his face. That's Victor. 2v2. At the double doors now. MW still back towards the pyramid. Got his teammate watching his back. Just from main. Watching for the cross here.
One enemy remaining.
Taking the time with it, MW. Lovely shot. Marv now with so much more to do, but he just does not know where his last player is in the MW. Lovely 3-piece 3K. That's 3-1.
Furia playing a slow round there, walking their way up through mid, and even as Havoc died on their entry through double doors, instant trade came out from MW, and that was it. Acceleration. They go forwards instantly as soon as they take out Demon 1 there. They realize that they've found themselves an opening. If you can go 1-for-1 against Demon 1, you're actually in a great position to be able to get into sites, play post plans. So that's knocked the economy a little bit of NRG. Marved back onto a Guardian, and this is a really important eco round.
Okay, just a knife. You're right, it is important just for the economics, big investment with all the guns.
And look, Liazzi not going to be on a lurk this time, sticking with the team, and once he gets the spike plant down, he has picked.
Waves of the util. Demon 1 didn't get caught by any of it, but now the drone's in his face as well. Needs some help from the rest of it. Wall goes down, had the dash active, loses the fight. MW really taking it to him. We talked about that jet head-to-head. Still, Ethan is alive and kicking the IGL. The flank timing! Crashes! Gonna lands it. That is really dodgy. Sharp as a cue ball with that one. Still, Ethan is alive there. With the pit down, though, it makes things a little bit more difficult, but it's steadily really just getting out of their hands here. You have Furia with the pit now falling. It's all down to just the one. It's Conan. He can't do anything about it.
Major round from Ethan, not with the utility, but in fact with his rifling. Ethan's throwing out all of his util right at the beginning of these rounds. He's not saving much of it for the retake. He's trying to put pressure on people as they get into the site. But in the last couple of rounds, hasn't quite been able to time up with Demon 1. You see the flash there that pops, but it's after the attacker's Viper Wall has already gone down, so just mistiming it slightly. But nevertheless, landing so many great shots to be able to win the round outright. And that's the danger with NRG. They're all very talented players that are able to work the map with their utility, but they've also got insane rifling skill. And they flip the economy back completely the other direction.
W with the Blade Storm available. Still some slight danger into the round. But okay, Demon wants the exact same idea as well. Here we go, sending the util up in their faces as the flashes have to disengage. Back and away still here with the updraft. That is nice. Micro adjustments just to find the kill. Havoc falling. All the advantages now laid out for NRG. Are they going to be able to reclaim these guns? It's contact plays. They're going to be waiting, walking right into each other.
Spike
Pure
down
collection. All down to Liazzi.
And Demon One, he's hunting for a 20 HP. Gets taken out with a classic, but Victor is going to collect. What an interesting difference to the round there from NRG. They've had Demon One playing aggressive at various times, not always hunting for that aggression in mid, but this time pushing out with the Cypher. And you won't really see that when the sides flip, I don't think. Khalil's much more of a heavy anchor rather than trying to push out to support his jet.
My eye.
But Victor was really happy there to get aggressive deep down into cannon on an anti-eco.
They didn't try against it, did they?
Oh, here comes the Demon One operator, though. And he's going to try and get set up by the look of it towards A main.
No one there, though. No targets. Maybe towards double doors if they end up shifting, but it's mid that's being played by Furia.
What an orb liner.
Here we go. Just taking mid control. Gonna force Marv to now use the Viper's Pit. Block off that one choke point. We'll be worried about this. And look at that reposition as well. That was Liazzi picking up the orb again. Repositions it into tunnel so they can get even deeper into mid.
Yeah, both teams really interesting usage of the Viper orb. Marv threw his all the way into A main. Yeah, from tunnel. So that's now there to try to support Demon One as he picks towards double doors.
I mean, this is crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, Crashies has got extraordinarily deep, but they're waiting for some kind of information for Crashies to go even further. And Furia are playing quietly right now, not giving too much of the game away.
A lot of players contained in spawn because of that orb. They're worried about the lurk. Up into nest. There's the drone. Molly down, but there's nobody going to be following up through it. Instead, everybody right through the tunnel now. Victor is going to be the man to do the most here alongside Ethan. Ducking and dodging in between each other, trying to play between both of them. The flash was good. The connection damage done to Liazzi, but still he collects that kill, at least, into the spawn now. It's lovely with the movement. Unlucky to not get that one kill, but still Crashes is there. Finally, the lurk paying off, and they all just crumble.
Marv finally took the time in to come out of his pit. Really great discipline, actually, from both teams there. Crashies with a phenomenal flank timing. Marv making sure that he stayed alive the entire time in the pit. And on the other side, you got to praise Furia for trying to make the best of that situation. Doing a little jiggle, seeing if they could put pressure onto Ethan. But look at the angle. They just got their back of their heads towards where Marv is pointing his rifle. At the moment, NRG look fearless in terms of the way that they're pushing out around the map. You know, Victor is quite happy to push out from B and not just hard anchor it. Crashies is walking down halls in the very next round. They're not worried about MW with some kind of attack side operator holding a line that they might walk into.
The comms seem clean. They're not really losing track of any players as well when it really gets messy. I mean, that was a messy round. Players are all over the place, but we're using this timeout now to change the tactic ever so slightly. You said, you know, they had that early conditioning with the heavy executes for Furia into the sites. They have slowed it down since then, going for mid-control, a bit more heavy towards there.
Yeah, but the thing is, conditioning only really works if it was super successful, because then your opponents have to make a reaction off the back of it. And maybe Furia should start thinking about going back to some of those big execs. They haven't tried an exec on B when rifles have been up. That updraft dash exec with the recon and the flash, it looks like, based on the minimap, they might be trying something over towards A again. But this is the eco round. You know, Furia probably taking the time out here not to quite discuss what's going to happen in this one, but instead in round 9.
I'll find their Cypher.
Be aiming to look for a couple of kills here, but they're going to be walking right into Demon One. The anchoring player dodging the flash. Smoke in his face. Dash is still there. Spots the one. Will he go for the repeat as well? There it is. Havoc deleted. Flashes in his face. I mean, this is just oppressive in terms of the util that's being sent flying, but they do have this one player deep onto the site, NW. What can he really do, though, with the Stinger? Gonna get up into somebody's face. Demon One with the classic. You're gonna be kidding me.
Spike down
Brutal.
A.
Poor Khalil. Last one left. Not a chance.
If you listen to any of the interviews, in the run-up to this season, the NRG players were talking about the fact that their job often is to set up Demon 1. The amount of initiator utility that is being thrown at Furia to make sure that they can't attack Demon 1 is absurd. There are flashes coming in, recons coming in, darts coming in. It's just everything is being used to make sure that Demon 1 has the best duels possible. And now MW has gone for the glass cannon attack side op. Okay. So this is going to be a slower approach again, but he is vulnerable.
Open for the first kill. A bit of a patient play just at the beginning, just in case there was that mid-aggression. Pretty far back. Ethan is jiggling. All the crosshair placement be good. There was a chance for MW, but missed one.
They've heard the drone come down halls. It's possible that MW could try to get set up over there, and that's where he's going.
Yeah, jump spot. Here we go, chance number 2. He doesn't know which angle to watch for here. Oh, adjustments. No damage though.
And this is the part in the round where Khalil actually needs to start making something happen. If MW can't find a pick, it's got to happen on the other side of the map. And you see Conan calling for Havoc to come back over towards B. It's going to be difficult for MW to get in. He doesn't have an updraft to be able to get over these trips.
Maybe the idea is to try and use this KO ult, but guess what? Victor is nowhere near. This setup's going to be alive. If they do use this ult here yet, so they're going to be splitting into B, but it's not going to be connecting onto him, so trips are still there.
No hard anchor, though, to play off the trips.
But Marved, bit of a cheeky one. Crashies as well. They are collecting this one. The crossfire setup, they just don't have the angles. Watch for and Furia trying to get into this site. There's 25 seconds left. Khalil has a spike. He's out in the open. He's got to reposition now. Get close to the pillar. Finally, the plant's starting to go down.
Conan is watching for this.
Ooh, finds it. An important one.
But it's a 4v3 on the retake against, again, MW with no shields.
Well, okay. Good one to begin. Mountain out, 3v3. What about who can get these first picks as well? Demon 1's also holding the operator angle. It's a difficult retake, but still he just needs the one, and there it is. Maybe it opens it up once more. Khalil still close to the pillar. Weaving all over the place right now. So his teammates to try and watch his back. Ethan, he's cripped all the way behind. Then he's won the round for his team.
That's an insane kill from Ethan onto Conan. And to be honest with you, if Conan had just played time there and played off his Sova ult and the shock darts that he had, that might have been a better decision than trying to support his teammate on site. Difficult to tell. Very difficult to tell what the best play would be in that moment. But that's now 5 rounds in a row for NRG. And look at the way they're defending B. What on earth is this? No hard anchor. Everybody on Furia looking for the player that's going to be hidden somewhere on site. They're nowhere to be found. Victor's on the other side so he doesn't get hit by the KO wall. And they got a crossfire from Narnia and the wardrobe.
It really is. I mean, top nest and just playing all the way in archers.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. But these positions are working so well.
Yeah, they really are. Well, guess what? We're into the action. Missed about 5 seconds.
Demon 1 already took a peek down A main.
A little bit of damage done to him. Shied away now. Crashy's been getting a lot of value with this drone deep down into halls, but maybe Leazi can catch a timing. Look at this. Pushed up now onto the left side. It's a jiggle. Marv is so aware of this. Always making sure that one avenue is not open towards them. And now double doors. That is going to be the sideline. Havoc just walks into it.
Down mid.
It's a freebie, really, for Demon 1. Close to the corner. That's Marv here with the dash. MW! That's a bulldog! How's he pulling that off still? He will fall.
I know exactly.
2v3. There needs to be a bit more being done, but it just cannot happen. Not with the weaponry.
So NRG pulled things up to 7. And Furia's success came so early on in this map. They just haven't been able to get anything on the board as soon as rifles were online for NRG.
Yeah, it's been destructive, to be honest. I mean, the pistol round is the only reason this is looking remotely salvageable. Potentially like a 7-5. That was disgusting.
That was an ADS shot there.
You can't deny MW's skill.
But at the same time, Demon 1 had already picked off 2 of the players. He caught Havoc just walking through double doors and spun around, aware of the split push coming through A.
Good play again, reminiscent of a little bit earlier here because Victor's playing up with them, but this time into elbow. Nobody will meet them. It's A main. It's going to be played by Furia.
And it's another one of those rounds where Furia are close to some huge ultimates, specifically the Viper's Pit, 1 away, and of course the Hunter's Fury that they can use in the post plan. But NRG have been just contesting these plants going down so much.
they're playing retake B a lot, but A, both initiators fighting constantly to stop Furia getting any space.
Just lobbing the artillery. Flashes, darts.
Mortar strike.
Absolutely. I mean, they just can't take it.
So Conan is just going to insert himself into A main and allow the rest of Furia to go and work around the map. They'll probably end A here as their IGL's still maintaining control in that area. But there's only 50 seconds left. Enough time to work A, but not too much time to explore towards B. And there are still 3, maybe even 4 people ready to hit
walking up
on the defense.
Trying to exec now, right for the double doors with this Hunter's Fury to set it up as well. Push these players out of position, but Marv, they didn't account for him. He's in through the back. There's the trade though. Brought him down, but still NRG, this firing squad is firing on all cylinders. Can't stop him, man.
And if you had any doubts about NRG's calling, so far this defense has been played immaculately. They haven't really had to do too much pivoting on the fly, calling improv kind of stuff, maybe in one of the rounds. But they are getting way too much value here from just leaving B open and putting a camera there. Yeah. I mean, Victor is basically just leaving B with a cap, and they're allowed to stack 4 players A to stop this hit from coming through. Furia are running into people on every single angle, battering their heads against a brick wall.
Put everything into this final round of the half. We'll see.
Now that's interesting. That knife is normally to tag people up in A main, so they may not think that NW is walking the halls here.
Drone being used as well to clear out mid. Normally Crashies is exclusively using that for halls, but see if there's an opening. Still the trip covering it, so it'd be hard for MW to get anything done from that position. Ooh, this time much more aware.
And off the back of that, knowing that the operator isn't there, MW takes a couple of steps forwards. At some point here, you know, he's going to be aware that Crashies is normally playing in this area. Look how they're trying to apply pressure to Crashies' position from both angles. It's very hard for a Sova to cover both spots here.
A lot of noise being made up into Nest.
And pings on the minimap.
Yeah, I mean, NRG. Gotta be aware of this one here. They are potentially being squeezed with 37 seconds left.
They got the knife on Victor, so they've got past his trip.
Oh, an MW! Here it is! The time to strike is now! Well, the iron is hot. This man, he's making all sorts of weaponry, isn't he? Dash forwards, he's feeling like really just getting involved into the thick of things. Demon 1 will not be outdone, but perhaps no! MW shuts him down! This Jet head-to-head, manifesting for the last round of the half. Here's the pit, finally down in play. It's all down. These 2 players, the double doors, Marv and Victor, got to try and play together here. Find these kills, all up to Marv, he will fall. That is an 8-4 half. Finishing with a flourish, really, wasn't it, from Furia?
An awesome round from Furia, but one of the only rifle rounds that they were able to get on board. That KO knife from Havoc was immaculate. Found Victor, disabled the trip, allowed MW with knives to sneak through halls. A perfect round, but that's what it takes to even get 4 off NRG at the start of the season. Yep. That should worry you.
Speaks about the caliber, I think, as well of these players, you know. They have talent, boundless amounts of talent.
But Furia are capable of throwing curveballs their way. It's just the amount and the consistency.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's throw it down to Smix as well with a special guest. We've got Tarek as well, sitting in the hot seat, our favorite co-streamer, carrying the viewership.
Thank you very much. Sitting here with Tarek. Tarek, it's always amazing to have you here at the Riot Games Arena. So many fans in the audience for you.
Yeah.
It's been a hot minute since we saw you here. How have you been? How's everything been going?
Yeah, it's been such a long time. I think someone was saying 174 days since the last match. So yeah, it's been a long off season. I think everyone's been waiting for this game to finally happen, and it's starting off pretty hot. I'm not gonna lie, both teams look pretty good.
Yeah. NRG definitely, after losing Pistol, they just came back, and the half looks resoundingly like theirs. I'm curious for you, as someone who's had such a long career yourself, when you get to see players cracked out, you know, when you see Demon 1 hitting these shots, do you ever think to yourself, man, that used to be me?
Yeah, no, I do have, like, you know, even I was doing a meet and greet today, and people always bring up Boston, obviously, but I haven't thought about it to the extent where, like, I want to get back on stage. I think I do my own form of competition with ranked, which I think is honestly harder than some of these pro matches. But no, it's really fun to watch, and I want to give kudos to these guys because I feel like everyone's like showing up surprisingly. Like, you can see the nerves a little bit too, because there has been a couple whiffs, but overall pretty entertaining. Yeah.
Can you believe it's been 6 years since that amazing day in Boston? I feel like in some ways so much time has passed, but in others it's 6 years.
Yeah, that is nuts. I think that I get reminded of it a lot, so I feel like I'm not gonna lie. No, but it's really cool though, and you know, it's with us, so we got that.
All right. I'm gonna force you to do 2 predictions.
Okay.
1, which is the team that's gonna win this match right here? And 2, which awards are you winning tomorrow at the Streamer Awards?
I got NRG winning here 2-0. I think this is lightweight. No offense to Furia. They're looking actually surprisingly good to me. And for the Streamer Awards, I don't know what to expect. I know I got nominated for 2 awards.
Do you know which 2 you're nominated for?
I got nominated for, I think, Gamer and FPS, I believe. And you know, I don't think voting is open, but if you can vote for me, vote for me.
You heard it from the man himself. Please vote for Tarek for the Streamer Awards. For now, let's head back to the game with the casters.
I'll get on that, Tarek. I'll get on that. I'll try and find the links.
Little bro's just bragging during the end. It's crazy.
No, I mean, it's us bringing up Boston. That man gets reminded every day in the chat. I mean, it's us bringing it up. Here we go. Second half into Breeze. It's a really strong beginning for NRG with that 8-4 lead.
Yeah. It is going to be difficult for Furia to battle back, but their win condition is MW not just having twice the number of kills as the second player on the scoreboard, but more like 5 times. That is the win condition on defense. He's going to be hunting fights. His team's bought him a sheriff in this round, or rather, he's bought the sheriff in the round. So,
oh, that is risky. He's spotted. Really interesting. Cam, well, gets the 1.
NRG were running a fake into B there. Demon 1 got into the site, and they were hoping to try to get an easy plant down on A. But MW was pushing out of A at the same time.
Yeah, that is crazy.
So both Jets were fighting the opposite side of the map, and NRG's fake attempt has been found. And that means that they're now in a 3v4, where they've got to go down to plan B.
Whatever that might be. There's some info. Good awareness from Havoc. Underhanded flash to see if he can get any damage. Okay, everybody's just getting out of there. Crashies. Didn't give up the space that he was holding on to, just over towards Albo. 50 seconds left. What direction do they want to go in? It seems like there's some uncertainty.
Yeah, but they're ending towards Havoc. Talented rookie player, but currently sat 0-11, having a bit of a nightmare of the first game. It can be difficult. First time at the tier 1 level.
2 spotted now. That should force out rotations at least. There it is. So you can find the first one on the board. Get rid of that goose egg. 25 seconds left. Easy access. Walking straight past the Viper wall. Damage is being done. Look at this. It is just an absolute onslaught still. Surely you got to be receiving it. Oh, it's a disaster. Oh my. 2 plays left now for Furia. Still up onto the staircase. He crashes. Short work of that one. The Sova diff here.
Planted.
Really any time to spare. Shot lands.
Toxins going up.
How's he ducking as well? Lucky to be alive here onto 20 health, but still maybe there's a chance with crashes low enough. And there it is through the wall. Turns it into a 1v1. But a single shot will do it really. Potentially onto either side. Walking up onto the right side. It's all about the gambles. Could have crossed it onto it. Ethan's there. Liazzi! 3 in the round. Another pistol round.
Massive clutch from Liazzi there. Picking up the rest of his team to deliver them the pistol. After the anchors over towards A had fumbled the bag a little bit. I definitely agree with Tarek. I think that there are some nerves in play here. I think for the Furia side in particular, you see these players that don't have as much experience, I mean, particularly Havoc, struggling a little bit, but Liazzi as well is not a player with huge experience at the top level, and that's a major clutch to come out with.
Yeah, really nice.
He's playing with a lot of respect for NRG, and I was worried that, you know, he wouldn't be able to take the fights that he wanted to, but he managed to find them. And you see what that means for Furia. They still believe that they can get back into this game.
The pistol round does change pretty much everything. Almost guarantees the second round as long as you don't fumble. Walk in from NRG. All grouped up. Oh, this drone's going to see him. Surely. No. Duration wasn't enough.
Yeah, Conan droning from too far back. Crashes was droning from much further up so that you could check that corner. He's just cautious, worried about being dashed on probably.
Broken, but only the 1 person firing, so they don't know that they've got the entire squad here. Flash through, but still defensive positioning being played by Conan. Oh my goodness, still getting the damage really off there. MW still lucky. Backing away, right from the back. He's got it! He's got it! There we go.
Welcome to the big time!
Is that cyberbullying? I don't know, but...
No, that's it.
There's a second, okay.
The crowd getting behind one of our youngest players here as well.
I love that. People's champion right now, I think, honestly.
Look at the streak of rounds that NRG got on the other half, and yet there's only 2 rounds deciding these two teams.
It's the pistol rounds, right?
Yeah, if Furia is able to actually get some value out of this bonus, this game could still be really close. And the defense side is where MW tends to feast.
Ready with the lineup. Area. And flying now up towards mid, along with the knife as well. That's 2 layers of the util just to catch a player deep pushed up. It's MW suppressed as well. He can't get out of there. He can't actually dash to disengage. Demon 1 will bring down the counterpart.
Immaculate utility to neutralize MW. They even threw the cage at the start in case he was peeking out B main at the beginning. I mean, NRG have thought about how to neutralize an aggressive defense jet here on Breeze. And with MW not really having other players to play off there, you know, no initiator to back him up. Not like Khalil was pushing out like we saw from Victor in some of the previous defense rounds. He's isolated and plucked out. NRG slow things down. Liazzi's pushed up. This is a weird angle.
It's a really weird angle. I mean, this is the one thing working against NRG. They don't have any map control. They're going to have to clear this one. Will they do so? Yes. Crashes is there with a kill. Liazzi falling. I'm still alive. Now can start to just absolutely barrel their way onto the site. Or falling.
Small amount of fuel.
Down.
Yeah, not very much fuel there from Marv. These players a little out in the open, but nice nade there. And NRG are going to continue to apply this pressure. They only really require a few players on site to do this too.
This post plan looks really nice.
Yeah,
right. Mid lurk from Victor.
Demon 1 as well.
Yeah, into halls.
Up deep in halls.
Plenty of threats available here. Furia are going to be finding it really difficult to try and play this retake. Time potentially against them. Ethan making noise with the jump spot. Timing unfortunate.
Brutal.
Still gets it.
Utterly brutal.
Still gets it. Door opening as well. Distractions being made for them into the back of it. Damage though. Okay. Players falling low, but so is the time. Look at that. It's ticking and it's working against them.
There's no chance. Marv's in the cringe spot, man. Look at this.
Yeah. Okay. No chance in hell. Players going to be falling.
But was that damage? Yeah, I think it was. They took armor from everybody. They killed 2 players. That's a decent bonus round for Furia there. And they've still got money to be able to buy up into this. They would have loved to win that. They would have loved to. It would have started the comeback. It would have allowed MW to build up a bank where maybe he could have got a defense-sided operator online. But listen, they'll take what they can get at this point. 3 rounds now separate these teams. And MW's going to start to have to think a little more about how he gets aggressive on defense, this time with a lot of players over towards A main. Flash lineup from Havoc?
Yeah, potentially.
Just waiting out the knife.
Over the top, that's another flash. That's Ethan. Updraft movement, not enough to try and evade the sight line of Demon 1. It's all up in his face. Victor not wasting any time, is he? Straight up towards double doors. Another flash. And recontest though. The flash was not quite good enough, Ethan. Wasn't blinded. Victor, chance to feast for him as well. They are plucking and picking apart this A defense. It's surgical. It's looking like the 10th is on the board momentarily. Kona, no chance. Just got to save this one. No way, does he really want to try and take that fight? Yes, he does. Not losing confidence just yet against our championship player.
But Conan's got no chance, really, I don't think. He's going to sprint down Marv, but he's going to run bunny hop straight into Crash, who's welcome in arms. And that round 16, may well have turned the tide firmly in favor of NRG, because that's broken the economy of Furia. That's shattered any chances of the bonus round having some level of benefit to their economy. It's going to allow NRG to creep very close to the top. And every rifle fight was favored with a piece of utility, or every rifle fight just looked so clean from NRG as well.
Timeout has to be taken. Furia, they realize it. The back's against the wall for map number 1.
The thing is, Furia, I think, had 2 big win conditions in this map. And maybe you could say the match overall as well. I think this first map of Breeze is where Furia had the most chance. It's where we've seen them in the offseason destroy Cloud9, for example, with that level of defensive aggression and some nice attack side rounds. But I think the 2 win conditions for Furia were, maybe even still are, MW0 having an unbelievable performance, and he has been shut down by NRG's extremely diligent play on their attack side. They are throwing extraordinary utility that's got pinpoint accuracy to push him into unfavorable situations, flash him, recon him, whatever it might be, and then kill him.
Yeah.
And set up Demon 1 for favorable fights then. And I think the other win condition potentially for Furia in this match is that Conan is able to outcall NRG, who, you know, don't have that much experience with a very successful IGL on the team, etc., etc. And at the moment, NRG, everything is working for them. They look like a well-oiled machine, and this team's just barely getting started.
I mean, they've only just formed, very recently compared to a lot of other teams.
Yeah.
Scrimming with the core just over a month, I believe, so... And they're looking this good.
If you wanted the cracks to show for NRG, you would have to push them away from Plan A. And unfortunately, Plan A is just working so well right now that Furia are barely getting openings in some of these rounds.
This is a slow start, isn't it? Hoping for that mid-aggression as well, because Demon 1 is just got his crosshair set on the top of that wall in case MW does decide to take a bit of a peek. Seconds getting whistled away. Oh, hello. Close to the wall, close to the corner, just needs to get himself out of there. Havoc getting cheeky with it. You need a miracle if you're Furia.
Whoa. My ult's ready.
The miraculous players on the other team. And Demon 1's mechanics have not suffered for the long off-season with his, 5-month break from the game.
He did say 4 to 5 months he was just watching movies and traveling.
What?
That's what he said. Yeah, I'm not kidding.
Yes.
Didn't touch the game.
The most well-known training regime for top Valorant players.
Yep. This man is
built different.
unfazed. Yeah, I mean, he might be taking the Iceman title away from Marv, to be honest.
30 seconds left.
I think he's too fiery to be the Iceman. That's the thing now.
Havoc cleared out, 1 bullet left. Can he do anything with it? The answer is no. Marv. It's the extra piece that was needed. Taking a lot of space now up towards stairs. 3 players left now for Furia, but the plant's down. A slow and steady approach from NRG. They leave no gaps in their play.
And I'm going to be honest, Brent. At this point, now that NRG are looking like they're getting up to 11-6, the questions going through my head are more, are they going to show what their genuine plans are with these ultimates? Or are they going to try to conserve strategies that they're working for later games? Which is a brutal spot to be in. Furia need to continue pressuring them.
You know where these final 2 players are hungry for the kills, the flash and the dart, everything to set it up once more. Initiators really helping it out. 1 last bullet. Not enough for it, but yeah, NRG running away with this map. And it really has been down to that initiator diff. I mean, we're talking about it. Ethan and Crashies, those waves of util, MW can't get away with as much as he's potentially hoping for.
Yeah, I really agree with that. I think that Crashies and Ethan have been absurd in the way that they've set up Demon 1. But also on the defense side, this is Victor's first ever game as Cypher, right? We think about this guy being super flexible, but normally he's been playing in the Killjoy meta. And they were getting crazy value out of just putting the cam and a little bit of a setup over towards B and stacking A. Whereas Furia are playing much more spread around the map. They're forced to because they don't exactly know where NRG are ending.
Gamble by Furia, 3 players anchoring over towards B, expecting NRG to be trying to go and hit into that side. Ethan has the KO ult.
And that's why they're holding Khalil on the opposite side. A classic anti-KO ult setup here. But NRG, I'm looking like they've read it a little bit, to be honest. They're setting up for some kind of A split. It's going to be a slower round because Demon 1's looking for a pick with the operator. But there is so much that you can do on Jet with this map. Now that Halls has been re-added in.
Yeah.
You know, opening the switch, dashing out onto yellow. On the defense side, going for some pushes down there with a recon dart potentially. It's a Jet's paradise, this map.
And look at the amount of respect that's being shown. I mean, Furia, not eager to try and peek, take a look down Halls either. Slide off angle. Now the dart comes through. 45 seconds left.
They've just walked Ethan onto site, kind of alone.
He hears them though. There we go. Offloading the ult. See if he can survive as well.
This is
revealed for about a moment. Here we go. Hunter's Fury into the back. Ethan couldn't quite stand this ground, but it's Liazzi who will stand and deliver. Hunter's Fury eventually a kill to be claimed. This crashes onto Havoc. Door opened up. Demon 1 has the knives available if he really wants to just let them rip. Still the dash active on top of things. Still. Don't get anything done with it, though. It's a weird round. Maybe they can make the most of all of this here with time running so damn short, Victor. Man of the hour.
You can't let them win this round, Furia.
It's absolutely insane. You've got to be kidding me. MW to the 1v1. Dart doesn't scan him. He's brought it to this one moment defining. It could be everything the backbreaking round that he's looking to avoid by winning this one out, but the timing's here, caught it to the side! Crashes! Denied the chance, that's all MW.
Furia had done such a great job of setting themselves up for success there. It's the first round where I'm confused at what the game plan was for NRG. Ethan was so far out on site alone, just trying to take advantage of the fact that they felt nobody was really playing A, and the read was somewhat accurate, but it wasn't synced up with what Demon 1 was going for. And look at Liazzi here. He was able to play off the back of the Hunter's Fury, get in deep, and MW closes it out with that classic, awesome op accuracy. They need more of that. And after the first round, in my opinion, where NRG's game plan looked a little off, instant timeout.
Instantly.
I mean, Chet hits the big red button immediately.
Not wasting any time. We can hear somebody in the crowd saying, good timeout. Respect that. Get the coach whistle out. But yeah, they can feel it. You know, listen, it was the first round where things did get shaky with the game plan. The players have talked about Ethan adjusting into the IGL position, and, you know, Crash is saying we understand we have to support him as well. It's a new role for him, despite all the experience he's got. He's played with world-class, championship caliber IGLs.
Yeah.
Multiple across the board, so...
Across multiple esports.
Yeah, exactly.
His time in CS too. But there is still a chance for Furia in this game. The issue is, it looks close because Furia have won both of the pistols, right? And now they're starting to win a couple of rifle rounds like here or there, round 12, round 18, both really good rounds for Furia, but their economy is still shot. And there's an Outlaw on the other side too, Demon 1 picking it up.
Okay.
What was the bet that they had on the analyst desk? I think
it was Demon 1 picking it up. I mean, there's a lot of half armor targets.
Yeah, 3 light armor targets on the other side, including MW, right? The Jet head-to-head, 1 body shot from either player.
We'll be waiting for him, though. There's a flash with a knife to set this one up. Khalil! Oh, my. Looking like week 1, 2013.
2013? 2023?
Yeah, that's what I meant.
What, you're going back a decade?
I'm going back a decade, apparently. Good call out.
I don't think I knew Khalil back then.
I don't think Valorant was out back then.
All right, so NRG under a little bit of pressure because Demon 1's been popping off this game so far. They haven't really had to play an attack side round with him down. Marv has the spike. He's 1 away from Pit. But it's going to be difficult to get any kind of purchase on the A side.
Yeah, single shot. Nade forced out. Havoc just using the util to try and delay here, but down to a minute left. Sidestep, Marv. He's Lepconn with it.
More awkward timings from Havoc.
Khalil is lit up. Players now starting to swarm onto the site still. They do have the benefit of having this pit towards main. They don't have to worry about that position clear, though. He is being swarmed, surrounded, pincered. Players finally arriving. Still Liazzi alive. Sidestep once more, playing into this pit. They got nothing to clear him out here, and they want to be trying to commit to A. This is an absolute disaster for NRG.
30 seconds left.
Leave it up to Victor. He can't find any easy fight, and it's shut down in a moment's notice.
I came into this game thinking that the difference maker might be Havoc, because I think his performance during the off-season and during his time in Tier 2 looked really promising. But actually, the big player that's stepping up is Liazzi. He's 14 and 14 right now, but the frags that he's getting are so high impact. I mean, he's got to survive here and find his isolated ones, and he just peeks out of the pit, manages to get onto Crashies, times his peak onto Ethan perfectly as Ethan was reloading the Classic after he'd spent all of his bullets spamming the pit too. Another big round from Furia to pull this back to within 3. They are not down and out.
Still winnable.
So much of this game on the attack side has come down to A splits, halls play, that kind of thing. We haven't really seen many big B execs. Nobody wants to go into that Viper wall and trip setup.
Deep drone, not really seeing too much.
And a nice cam from Victor that does see a lot.
Yeah.
It lets him know whether people are jiggle peeking, whether there's an opera on the angle. It's going to allow him to get up deep. And of course, he's always got two cages to be able to open that door and create pressure from Switch as the rest of his team gets close.
Will this flash connect onto the backside player? That's Liazzi off around the corner. Dart, flash, everything being combined, even with the knife. Liazzi still holding his ground, still shot missed. No players running his way up there. That's Victor still, and he has taken out a kill still. Liazzi! Player to watch for, really. He's the one making these rounds more than winnable. Out to the side, though. Does not expect crashies at that particular position. MW narrowly avoiding it as well. Bullet sailing, whistling right over to his head. He's looking for the fight. Nobody offloaded. Gives him an idea of the positioning. Pit offloaded this. 16 seconds left.
It's an awesome pit. It blocks the sightline and allows him to cross. It's not really to play the post plant. It's just like a smoke.
He's trying to get himself there. There it is. Time available for the plant. Playing forward into the pit could come down to almost anything. Battle of the timings. Okay.
Crashy's reposition has got to be fairly unexpected here as well. The last time they saw him, he was over by the crab pyramid.
They expect it. It's been watched for. It's not going to be a swing from Marv either.
read.
Crashies, he's taking a little bit back. MW!
What a read!
So damn aware. And Marv is low enough. Tiniest amount of chip damage will do it. Round to the side. That's a bit overkill with a shot to the cranium, but it gets them the round. Necessary one.
And if NRG thought that it was going to be smooth sailing on this side after racking up all of those rounds on defense and coming into this with an 8-4 lead, they are sorely mistaken. This is now within 2.
Indeed.
Many of these chances for NRG to cleanly put Furia away are being squandered. And it is at this point that now the NRG economy starts to get squeezed. This round that we're about to see is going to be make or break for the NRG economy. And they don't have those big ultimates to work with. They're one away from Crashies and somewhat close to Ethan's, but probably not going to be online this round. MW not playing as aggressive, by the way. Good adjustment from the Jet on Furia. He's really found that discipline and patience that we've been wanting to see from him as the evolution of his game from years prior when he's been on Duelist. He's not just giving himself away as a free pick, trying to force the fight. He, in fact, is anchoring B in this round.
He's watching Tunnel, just in case it does come through. Crashies went to his ult a little bit prior. We saw that one, and now the team grouping up for a potential B hit. But really essential, I think, that they try and remove these trips, either the knife connecting or otherwise maybe some U-tilt. Drone used to clear close just in case somebody repositioned into main. Here's MW chance. Missed. Here we go. A lot of U-tilt being used. Lit up. MW trying to avoid it. Playing inside it. There we go. Oh, lit up. Plenty of chances with the shorty. Still 2 bullets left. Into the chamber. He's weaving in and out. But Victor has got his eye on him. It is chaos and anarchy right now. Into the B side. Kills happening all over the bloody place.
Things stabilize a little, though, into a 2v2 here. And the Cypher ultimate, huge to give away information. Crashies is coming around the side.
Crashies is traded. 1 versus 1. And Liazzi, it's been more than good for it. Victor, real chance to shine, put them up. Lovely jump spot, gets the information. Repositioned to the back of the site using the Viper wall against him. Liazzi puts his own up, though. Here we go. Round to the side is Victor. Shuts it down and brings NRG to that 12th round.
Major play from Victor, who's been quietly putting up an excellent performance in, again, his first ever Cypher game. You can tell that he's put in the hours. It also seems like a suited agent for him. He's very good in these anchor positions, good in the clutch as well. MW had some chances here to make magic occur. But instead, most of the impact was happening off the back of Sova utility. Conan got 2 with like a shock dart and then a wall bang. Victor got 1 off the wall bang as well. And now we head in. NRG up to 12. Looking to try and take this fight through mid this time.
W chance. Find a cheeky pick off. And the diligence isn't there. Look at that, Ethan. Not expecting it. I believe that's one of the first times MW's played in that spot.
Yeah, and he's doing a great job of mixing things up, still managing to be dynamic and mobile whilst not always pushing on defense. That is a fake wall from Marv, making it feel like it's over towards A, when in fact, they're getting set up for the B pinch. Liazzi is going to be under pressure, only a Spectre to his name.
Yeah, and Tunnel needs to be watched for as well, so the squeeze doesn't come in, but NRG hoping and praying for it now. Look at it, they've already crossed. MW's missed that one, and the dart reveals him. He's going to be pushed off this angle. Crashies is already in, walking. behind them. Conan just not even watching it with his own gun. Liazzi's still there close to the corner, only with the Spectre, 10 bullets. Anybody going to be walking into him now with 40 seconds left? He's putting a break and a pause into the play because the spike has been dropped down at the wall.
I've got to be honest with you, I think this is a save for NRG.
Now.
They're in a 2v4, they have an barely any money. Marv's only 50 credits, Crashy's 350. The rounds have gone back and forth. They don't have a big loss bonus. They just won the prior. So this has got to be a save. And if Furia have the confidence for it, and if they decide to push forwards as the time gets lower, these could be big rewards if you're able to take the op and the rifle out of NRG's hands.
They're keeping their own guns, though. Their money's low enough.
But I mean, yeah,
it is. I mean, I think it's a worthwhile, though, risk to take.
You do see Liazzi actually looking to go forwards because he's the player with the Guardian, right? So he's not bothered about saving that into the next round. But it looks like nobody on NRG is really going to get spotted. So they survive. Anticlimactic end. But what a map that we've got here. Furia certainly coming back into it. The second time out called by NRG.
And here we go. The heat's being turned up.
Look at these crossfires. I mean, it's such an unusual position, honestly, for Liazzi to be playing in. When the attacking team has already taken tunnel control, you are pretty much screwed in that.
You're just out in the open. That's why I was talking about how important it was to just hold tunnel with the op in that spot.
But he managed to make it work.
Exactly. I mean, I thought that when the player, I think it was Crashes, crossed over and caught that timing, I thought that was going to be the end of it.
But they were too focused on archers because the recon dart just came through at that exact time from Conan. I mean, things are getting a little messy here, but I think major credit to Furia because they have found ways of being able to win on the defense side right now. You know, they're not giving away early picks. They're actually forcing NRG to come up with game plans that make sense to close these rounds out. And NRG have not actually demonstrated big execs that are functional on A or B. They're doing a lot of work in the map trying to find picks. It's a slower approach to Breeze. And thus far, Furia are not giving them the openings. That's making it tough for NRG. Ethan is going to be getting close. After this round, he's going to have the KO ultimate. Now that could be a massive difference maker as you head towards round 24. I think it's very, very likely that we see a 12-11 score here in favor of NRG, but only slightly.
Time ticking down. And like you said, ults to build towards, maybe Crashes as well, build towards the Hunter's Fury in this round. Hope and pray that Demon 1 might be able to find something, at least with that operator. He's still got drone. Gonna be used.
It's a strange dynamic, though, for NRG because they want to put Demon 1 and Victor in good positions, but they don't want to lose the rifles, right? Or the operator.
Yeah, Khalil is not giving him anything. There might be a chance, though. He's creeping onto the left angle. Guess what? Havoc is playing there. No way! What? That's barely a sliver.
Another disgustingly unfortunate moment for Havoc as he just gets drilled by that, man.
Here.
He's having a nightmare already. Turning up to the tier 1 level and playing against the world champ. The top level performing player from Champions.
Tough ask. MW looked like he wanted to take a nice little fight, but no, backs away now, realizing that they've lost control of halls.
And Victor's quite isolated over towards elbow here. He's going to be in the hard lurk position. But he's got that rifle.
Walking up. Crashies. Might hear that trip close. At least the cam as well. He can hear it. Yeah, they ping.
And Marv just getting that fuel back. Now they can go for a proper exec.
Just
They're
walking
still
in.
just contacting behind it. But the cam is going to see all of this.
And here it is. Util's broken. Still close to the corner. Khalil. Cage is up. Plant. Ethan. To be dissuaded away from it with any sort of util. Just going to let that one get off here. Khalil doesn't dodge the flash with the underhand. There was no peek coming through it. There's Victor.
And now he's opened up the B site, the mid-rounding. This is the opportunity. Oh, of course, the plan.
Still close, yeah, still close to the corner though, and they're still walking a little bit wider. There it is. Lineups being used on offer, and this is when the time really starts to tick. Putting it all on the line here for Furia. This could be the backbreaker, the round win, just based off of that alone, but the lineup's bad.
Yeah,
Slight miss to the side, but they don't want to stick it in the moment here. Still, Conan pressing the advantage, pushing forward still. Khalil, he will fall, half on it, and the shot finds Hart. Wonderful finish. 13 to 10.
What a way to close it out. Marv with an operator, throwing his lineups and finishing things out, getting the better end of MW. But you can't say that Furia didn't push him there. That second half was not easy. Powered by both of the pistol rounds going the way of the Brazilian squad. they've got chances in this match. NRG still played exceptionally well. That first half with the initiator utility was almost immaculate.
Yeah. Really starting to see that caliber shine.
And yet, you know, Furia really showing why they should be treated with some respect. Dark Horse team pushing NRG, showing that they're able to keep up in terms of the individuals. Big performances from MW and Liazi on that map. And if Havoc wakes up and comes online and gets that experience under his belt,
I mean, that's what you mean. I mean, you've got...
It's going to level him up.
That scoreline, close map like that with one of your players putting up, what, 2 kills at the end?
Something like that, yeah. I mean, and actually not the kind of map where Havoc was owning people with his supported utility either.
Yeah.
He was just a little slow to warm up on the stage.
Well, map 1 all done and dusted as well. Going to be taking a short break on the other side of things, setting us up for that critical and crucial map number 2. You don't want to miss it, so don't go anywhere.
Phone. I can't trade in.
Okay, that's dramatic. Better plans Verizon. Everyone can trade in their old phone and get the new Samsung Galaxy S24 Plus with AI on them.
A new phone.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, let's go.
Wait, I'm on Verizon. Can I still get it?
Yeah.
I gotta trade this in, right?
New and existing customers can trade in any Samsung phone for a new Galaxy S24 Plus watch and tablet, all on us. That's up to $1,800 in value, only on Verizon.
Red Bull gives you wings.
NRG manages to pick up the win in the opening contest here at VCT America's kickoff, but I'm sure a few NRG fans had a couple beads of sweat trickling down their foreheads for a few moments there because things were looking a little dicey from time to time, but then, you know, I guess cooler heads prevailed and then NRG was able to find that win.
Ultimately, once MW Zera got the op in hand on their defensive half, like the rounds started getting a lot more laborious for NRG to actually go and close out, but that was one of the breeze maps of all time.
That was the breeziest map.
Seen.
Yes.
It's just every round is we're either hitting a site or our jet is sitting in halls. It was very breeze. But I think what we learned about NRG from that match is they were not lying when they were talking about in the offseason that the chem was hitting with Demon 1. Because we saw it here. I feel like Ethan and Crashies did an absolutely excellent job, especially in this first half at setting up their new star.
I liked a lot of their mid work too. There were a few different times here, of course, going multiple players down mid, jumping up, but also those elbow pushes with the jet and the Cypher.
Yeah.
Sometimes just the Cypher escorting jet to get that boost up angle, peek into spawn, and it was just there for like 5 seconds, then they were falling out. It wasn't like a all-in protocol. It was we fish for a pick, then we fall up space. It was a very mobile defense, which I liked a lot.
Yeah, and even just rounds where they were heavy anchoring sites, I thought they used their Cypher util super well. Victor was just being permitted to set up his cam towards B. It was never being broken, so they could gamble these really heavy 3 or 4 stacks towards the site that Furia was hitting, and always have the great supportive util for either Marved or Demon 1 as that main anchor.
It was so easy for them to just sort of play off of that B side of the map because Furia showed a couple of hits towards B early on, and then after that it was a lot of A, it was a lot of mid work. So you'd just have very deep positions from NRG towards their spawn or peeking in behind whenever a mid split was happening, where they were shooting people in the backs of the heads. I think NRG sort of waited for Furia to overplay their hand and punish them for it.
And Furia couldn't fully beat the MW Zera is the one player who goes crazy while everyone else is double negative allegation. We were very close to that happening, but it didn't. I think we started to see this team come alive a little more in that second half. Liazzi was having a lot of important rounds, but really I think the catalyst came down to MW and his op, and also to how NRG was playing that attack. It was so slow.
Also, I mean, I don't want to be that guy, but you know, Havoc did start off this game 0-9 out of the break, so I had to because you know,
that's messed up.
You need all 5 players to hit, and it, you know, wasn't really working out that well for Havoc, which, you know, we'll give him some grace because obviously it's like you just the first game on the main stage, right?
And
this
you're playing a team like NRG. That's scary.
I don't want to put too much stock into that, but I do think that in some capacity that does play a little bit of a role here, especially when it comes to nerves.
Look, it's the elephant in the room. It was the one round, got the 2 kills, couldn't make it happen again. But like you said, it's one game. Get over it.
Yeah, you dust it off and you move on.
Just play Valorant.
Yeah. Who cares, right? Ultimately, who cares, right? Life moves on. You know, focus on this next map because what's going to be coming up here is NRG's pick of Ascent, and we've seen, you know, the core of this team go to this. It's always been a reliable map, if you will, for a lot of teams, and I would suspect that in NRG's case, they picked this because, well, quite frankly, you don't want to show too much right now in the early stages of this tournament.
On this map of Ascent, what I'm looking at is the 2 new IGLs, Conan coming in for Furia and Ethan over for NRG, and what they can bring on their attack sides when it comes down to the mid-rounding. On NRG's side, the team during the offseason, Crashies in particular, was talking about the fact that what they were really focusing on was how they were going to kind of provide the same ideas and provide the same help they always did to finesse in the mid-round with Ethan, who's a different person and calls in a bit of a different style. But he was confident that they got his style down and were comfortable in the mid-round, and I think for me this is the big test of that on NRG's side.
And ultimately the big challenge when it comes to like mid-round IGLing on attack on this map is, can you sort of oversell one side of the map that you're hitting into, right, with a couple players moving towards market or towards tree, and then anticipate the rotations through spawn so you can turn it right back around to the opposite direction. I think that is a big test, and honestly if they just continue playing as well as they are between the KO and the Jet combo of the world like we saw back on Breeze, I think NRG remain in a.
I mean, they were doing some cool things, right? I was liking the combos they were whipping up, really giving Demon 1 just so much room to do what he does. And, you know that was always going to be the case, right? Because, you know, you signed Demon 1, so it's kind of the point. But to see it really execute that way, should give a lot of people confidence here.
And I think on Breeze, it's a little bit less like stock standard how you set up a Jet. Ascent is a solved map, how KO is going to flash the Jet to refight into A main when the attackers are moving in there, right? Or you know, creep creep the op up towards B main and get that forward line with the operator. So I think this is a map that both teams will be much more comfortable with in terms of those fundamentals of how they are going to end up playing it. So I'm trying to cope a little bit and say that
but you see, but when you say you got two teams that look comfortable on this, but then it's really hard to be like, both teams, they should be all right. But
and then look, I'm over here spiraling because as I feed out the cope, I'm spitting out the cope. I'm like, yeah, but they also won both pistol rounds and still lost the map. Like the only reason Breeze looked close was the pistols, and then finally an operator in the hands of MW's era.
But what do we have on Ascent? Pistol rounds. Two of them. And guess what you can buy on Ascent?
No way.
Buy pistols.
You can.
Okay.
But you can also buy the operator.
Whoa.
Okay.
Do it again.
Hold on.
That's a take I never
what would
heard
you do
before.
with that?
Shoot them, perhaps.
It's a bold move, Con. See if it goes pay off.
Solved.
Solved. And talking about solved maps, guess what,
Whoa.
guys? These comps, so shocking. Who could have seen it coming?
All right, Golden Boy, do you want to tell me how these comps play here?
You see, what you're going to do is you're going to set up your jet to go ahead and take A main control. You're going to use your Killjoy, and you're going to give yourself some mid presence so that this way you can try and keep track of your opponent. And then after that, you're going to have your Sova working over on the other side of the map, just trying to prevent them from coming inside of that thing, and then they get shot with the Odin. That's the map.
Why are we even here, Mimi?
I mean, well, you're here because you're remarkably better at your jobs than I am. So
I don't like that voice.
You don't like this voice, Mimi? What a shame.
Win conditions for me from Furia. Win the pistol round, get MW and off, get that momentum rolling, see more success from Liazi while anchoring. If they can get this map going in the right direction, maybe they can pull it off.
You know what, Mimi? Just for you.
Let's go ahead and find out if Furia bounces back and send it over to your casters. Here's Brandon Shasha.
Mute.
I mean, GB was doing a stellar job, honestly. He was just, detailing the entire map. We've seen this one played out, but it is Ascent, map number 2 here. Furia versus NRG. Moments where, it was a close first map. Furia, chances for them to try and take it away from NRG, but now we're heading into it. It's NRG's map pick itself. And really no shift in terms of the roles or the compositions of it. And Victor now playing on the Killjoy. It is bread and butter. It's standard. It's been the case for eons.
Yeah, but I think on the attack side, you actually can have some differences in how you approach this map. EG used to set up Demon 1 by going for map control and searching for picks. That's kind of how this team just called on Breeze on their attack side, right? Whereas old NRG under Finesse used to do a bit more defaulting into site execs. So there is a pretty big difference there in terms of how you set your jet up. Speaking of setting jets up, MW has a Sheriff, and he's playing in that little bait spot over towards Heaven.
Gone for the split here. Paranoia is nice. Cuts his way through. Havoc trying to go for the repeat with the flash, but just baited out the util now. NRG looking for a bit of a pivot.
They've scared them away, but look at this. Conan and Havoc have read it.
They're straight there. There's no flash to set this one up. Havoc's just taking a fight. He's just swinging wide. Takes out Demon 1. There you go.
New map, new beginnings, new Havoc.
Talk about getting your confidence back. 4 versus 4 with a minute left in the round. MW, re-exploration now out towards main. That's a jiggle. Oh, shot through the wall, not enough. Crashes, what was that, right clicks?
Yeah, how is the Classic beating the Sheriff there? It's absurd.
Maybe the entrance they needed now as well. Smoke blocking away, flash on top of it, damage. So a lot of the players, half HP, but it's still a 2 versus 4.
Spike planted.
Going to have a rough time of things. Needs to get an opening pick somehow. There was a chance with Marv just peeking the jiggle, but now showing a bit of respect. Look at this position here. There's the Hell player. Any swing available? Not quite. Ethan wasn't in a position for it. So cleared out towards Hell. Weren't watching for it though. That re-swing. Now Paranoia. All the util.
That's immaculate.
It's layers, isn't it? Leaves Conan in an impossible situation. Out of range of the turret, but as soon as he steps forward as well, Ethan, he's still going to deal with him, and he's not going to be granted the chance or opportunity. 3 bullets left time. It's an impossibility now. Pistol round win for NRG. They're toying with them, playing with their food.
And that's a new turret change there. It's only got a 100-degree radius in the sight line, so something to think about. Not the biggest change in the world, but NRG very comfortably took that away. Basically, the important kill was Crashes being able to get his pick onto MW as MW re-explored into A main. I mean, it's like an info re-clear over towards A, and Crashes wins it, and that just opens up the site completely for them. You're expecting the defending team to be generally favored on Ascent. But at the same time, Furia, the more aggressive they play, the more they play against the strengths of the map, I think, actually. So it's another one where MW's got to have that patience and that discipline that Furia have talked about, trying to develop across this offseason. Look, I mean, look at the way that Ethan is set up to try to punish aggression through B main. They've got to flash off a turret.
They're ready for it.
They are so ready.
Shutting them down. MW.
And these are the kind of preparations that NRG will have been going through to try to shut down what they view as the main win condition. And I think most people view as the main win condition for Furia, especially when you've got a map pool that has 2 big jet maps to open up. They've got game plans to try to deal with MW. But again, discipline, patience, MW not giving himself away early on, and that puts the onus actually on NRG to make something happen. Now, as it happens, there's nobody home at A.
It's a gamble.
They're just literally going to walk into A, get the plant down.
Nobody is home.
And this is going to be the least eventful round you've ever seen.
It is so slow.
But diligent.
It is diligent, yeah. Taking the time with it, making sure that, you know, like you said, mid-aggression was accounted for. 30 seconds left.
And just to use this opportunity to talk a little bit about the team styles. So this is a blending of Evil Geniuses of last year, the championship team, with NRG, or that kind of optic core, really, right?
Victor's got a rifle. I'm gonna lose it. Go on, Victor!
Close.
Listen, it might be an eco, but I was getting excited.
Yeah. So are the sponsors of the Ace.
Yeah, exactly.
But, poor thing. What a waste.
What a waste. Yeah, we'll not be letting them pick up that Vandal.
So just to talk a little bit, though, this NRG super team has been a blend of the championship squad with that old optic core. And they approach the game in very different ways. Obviously, neither of the IGLs of those teams are actually on this super team. But the 2 different approaches that they had, you know, Finesse tends to call like a default into some kind of exec and trying to mix up the pacing and disguise what he's doing. You see EG, they were all about trying to take aggressive map control and set up Demon 1 to fight things and try and bait their opponents into reclearing. So I'm really interested to see what this version of the team does. Yeah, are they similar to one of the teams or the other? Do they have their own new calling style?
Down to the knife. Swings down, clears through into mid. Just dodging.
Shadows traveling. And this is very much that kind of default, making it seem like they're playing for mid control, but actually going into an A split.
Players there. Oh my! Bottom mid not accounted for. Victor was hoping for the B main push. At least that's where he set his sights. A lot of players there. Lit up with the paranoia, going for an attempt havoc. There it is! Balance with the confidence. Khalil pushing out, not showing any respect in the slightest.
And that is a dismantling of what NRG wanted to do in this round. And it's because they disrespected all of that utility. NRG threw the util to make it look like they were going down mid, and Furia said, nah.
Yeah.
And MW just literally walked up mid and was like, there's no one here, mate.
So with murder almost.
Yeah, if you can call your opponent's bluff in those situations, you're going to benefit massively because you just get so much more info about what they're actually trying to do. You need the confidence, though, to be able to fight against that.
Well, round 4, Havoc's double the amount of kills he's got compared to map number 1.
Yeah, and again, it's not like we were saying at the end of Breeze, Havoc's a terrible player.
No.
You're expecting him to go 2-20 in every game. No, he's been extremely successful at the tier 2 level, and it just looks like he had some nerves in map 1, which is super understandable.
Bit of a one-off when you're playing against a new super team on the block.
Certainly.
Good salvage, denying that bonus round. Here we go, fast play. Yep. Paranoia, but a flash. Everybody was playing anti-flash positions. Ethan.
And this actually is how Furia could lose this game after looking so good at being able to put up rounds like the one previous. Because the more aggressive they play the defense, the more I think they're going to play into NRG. But that's an interesting reclear to catch Victor. Pull things back into a 4v4.
Sees 3. Walking around, this is a little bit awkward in terms of the defensive players here. Furia just wondering where they can really stand. Liazzi, he's spotting anything out. It's all about that timing. Marved. He's found it. Classic playstyle of his, always just making sure that he can creep in at the right time. Knife against the dice. Suppression across the board. At least onto Havoc. Now we see the Hunter's Fury. It's going to be offloaded to try and at least support them. Havoc still gets the 1. In the meantime, in all of that sound and chaos and confusion, it's Conan. He's walked his way past the smoke. Demon 1 falls 2v2 with 37 seconds left. Khalil, flanks on flanks. All the way on flanks here. Leave it to Crashies. It's a 1v2. Crashies! No bullets! What a wonderful chance, a wonderful attempt.
And you can't have watched that and not believed for a moment that that was going to happen. Ooh. Just couldn't quite get the spray down there. Great work dealing with that aggro lurk from Marv, though. It felt like for a moment Conan hadn't quite accounted for the fact that Marv could be all the way up into grass, and then Khalil came back on the flank and was able to handle it. But Ren, if we're talking about calling styles on the attack side, this version of NRG is not going into big set executes.
Yeah.
They're actually a little trickly in terms of how they're committing.
Really quite slow, cautious. Block flash play, plenty to receive, plenty of targets. Look at that, the layers again of the util. Having to use the TP, but Marley couldn't see a bloody thing. Didn't know where he was going. TP'd straight into the wall here, and of course it's the eco, so these early kills being collected up, maybe a chance for Furia to build up some key ultimates.
But also, the fact that NRG picked this map allowed Furia to pick defense, and because they're favored, and because they're getting into situations like this has got to be a morale build-up for people like Havoc, for people like MW, I mean, for the rest of the team, to believe that they can accomplish it. With how close map 1 was, they should be favored to get up to a bit of a lead here. It's still fine for NRG if they only put like 4 on the board, honestly. But that is going to really light a fire under Furia.
It might just start getting a little bit more difficult as well. Paying attention to the money situation. They might want to try and get an op in MW's hands. I mean, Khalil's got the money for it. And when you get that op on the defense side of Ascent in your Jets, I mean, it's just going to be open up plenty of opportunities.
And we saw what it did on Breeze. That was one of the big turning points, was getting the operator into MW's hand. And he wasn't always trying to push super aggressively forward. So yeah, I agree with that.
See if they opt into it.
I mean, you're unlikely to do it in a round like this because nobody lost a rifle.
Yeah.
But assuming we see somebody die here, we could certainly see a reinvestment for round 7. This one, aggressive re-clear strategy over towards A main. Really cool thing to throw in occasionally. You're not pushing out beyond the bounds of where Ascent is really powerful on defense. You're just allowing the map to work for you, catching your attacking opponents in tight choke points.
NRG with a timeout now. Something's got to change.
And I think the ult situation is actually the thing that's going to change the most. They're heading into this next round with a lockdown and an ult command to be able to work with. And those are big ultimates to be able to cook up some kind of attacking idea. And that's probably, I think, why they've called the timeout, because Chet's probably got a specific strategy that he wants them to run. And coming out of the timeout, these are... Whereas NRG, at least at the moment, we've got a small sample size, but on the attack side, they feel like quite a fluid team. They're trying to gain information, take map
poking
control.
And prodding, seeing where people are.
Yeah.
Using the info at like the minute mark.
And I think after these timeouts, it's probably going to be a bit of a stylistic shift because, again, from what we know of Chet, he tends to call more structured strategies coming out of the timeout. But we'll just have to wait and see. As I say, this is a new super team. We don't exactly know what the style is going to be.
Feigning a bit of aggression. I mean, the only player in mid here is Havoc with the flash.
It looks like they're going to go for the recon dart wall bang strat, though, with Conan. And there's a lot of players over towards tiles.
Through the Odin.
I mean, if Crashies decides to drone at the beginning here, he could get caught, but he's just chilling.
Yeah, just chilling. Be up close, so they were aware of it. NRG containing.
But again, for NRG, this looks like they're taking mid control. They've knifed market, they're droning down. From Furia's point of view, you've got to think, is Demon 1 following this? And Havoc is immediately jiggle peeking to realize, no, Demon 1 is not there in mid. So they're trying to, get a situation where Demon 1 can find a pick without Furia expecting it on B. But Furia actually have all the info about where NRG are playing right now.
Especially now.
The thing is, the spike is on the other side, so this is never going to become a B exec. You look at the minimap, there's just no way.
Re-clear in A main.
I mean, not just a re-clear. This is...
Re-push.
I mean, they're going for some frozen yogurt. They're out in gelato.
There's a lockdown. Spammable spot. Spammable spot. Shock darts. It was a little bit too high, actually, with the aim. I think the bullets were just sailing right over it, so it's not going to be taken out. Awkward. Have to play out back here, but no players detained. Now they're starting to make their moves in towards the B side, but they're lit up again. Nobody's taking care of this Utah. That's Demon 1, I believe Norton 5 now. Crashies, maybe, can claim some space. Get themselves into the site with Ethan with that plan, but MW is right behind them. Look at this flying timing, you can see it. Poking all the way out, gives him away. Talk about Pinocchio's nose. As online, Havoc back in the fight, back in the action. It's a flash over the top. No casualties off the back of it, and his post-plant position is not ideal for NRG. You've got 3 players playing onto the site.
Marv still has that paranoia. Can he cook anything up with that? It looks like he's going to try and use it on these lane players.
Gonna need a miracle, but time, maybe. Working on their side. There's a paranoia, big one. 3 players colliding and still come down to just really the minute details. Moving their way forwards. What are these one-ways? Furia, though. They had the players, they had the advantage there. And it's a clean retake.
Oh, Liazzi is cooking with those one-ways. Those are awesome. I don't know how much they particularly help, but it did make it a little bit more difficult for NRG to fight their way out of that. A huge player advantage, though, and I like that you've drawn attention to Demon 1 being 0 and 5, because it's not like Demon 1's failing his duels, right? It's not like we're seeing Demon 1 trying to take aggressive angles, fight a player, and lose him. In fact, actually, it's that he's getting snarled up as he tries to enter the site.
He's getting caught by the initiator, you feel, most of the time. It's one of the storylines we were talking about leading into this, honestly, was the difference between the initiator players and that map 1, but what a time to come alive.
And thus far, Furia have been playing a really nice defense, not overextending too much, and MW actually picking his time to push out Gelato in that previous round and got onto a beautiful flank for the retake. So, timing it quite nicely. This is an aggressive hold of Catwalk, with Liazzi tucked in this corner.
Yeah.
But this looks more like an Evil Geniuses round from last year, where Demon 1's hunting for a pick over towards mid, and then the team has options of, should we go cat? Should we split B? Should we go back to A? Playing a 1-3-1 default with Demon 1 the tip of the spear. And now somebody's called at the minute mark for them to group up on A. That's where MW's holding with the op.
A main's going to be theirs. Can MW do anything about this? Because Cavalry is here, looking at it. That's a wide face, jumping around, but it at least fires off the first shot, and they're trying to flood into this one. Victor right from behind, the lurk timing. They do not expect a bloody thing all the way through. He's claimed 2.
Immaculate play from NRG, setting that one up. The entire feint into A, just to allow Victor to get those 2 kills. The weaponry is still not great, though. They haven't even recovered the second rifle from the player that they killed.
Still the player advantage, and when you take these close quarter fights, doesn't matter that you've got one of the players on the stinger damage. Marv, lucky to be alive.
They're saving.
They're saving. They have to.
Saving.
They have to. Op retake into that. When they set up in the post flank close to the site, you can't clear all of them.
What a round to pull out from NRG. They've been looking to try to set that play up in one of the previous rounds too. We saw Marv try to get on that aggro lurk timing, but look at this. I mean, also just catches a flash of havoc. And this gap now has got to be plugged for Furia. NRG doing a great job there. The IGL, the call to feint as if it's going to be a big explosion into A, and actually it's that aggro lurk timing that's the playmaker. And of course, when NRG is sending utility into A and making it look like an exec, the A players are going to look towards the site. Yeah. Right? They think that's where the danger's coming from. But now they're going to have to adjust. They're either going to need 3 people at A and 1 watching Catwalk, or somebody plays aggro in mid and tries to catch the player walking down Cat. You know, there's many different ways to try to plug that gap, but Fury have got to come up with one of them. And at the moment, I mean, this one is unusual. Khalil with the op.
He switched it over, swapping out the guns. So they're going to be going for, it looks like, it's a weird one, like a Towers crunch, I think, through main. Dart deep into mid. Paranoia as well, dash forward. So just trying to catch one of those plays, but look at it. Victor is out of there. He is hightailing it.
And the call from NRG is react into A, into Khalil. Did they spot the fact that he has an op?
Flash is nice. That's really nice. Pushed them off the angle for but a moment, enough as well for the team to get right into the site, and they've gained all that ground. Hunter's Fury is late. Conan, no targets to be found, and here goes the plan. Ethan.
Spike planted.
How does this retake come online? Deal with the operator again. Drone, what does it see? What players close now? Shot darts. against the side. Nades as well. Time is ticking. Paranoia was safe for just that moment with the dart as well, and their waves of all that. Util! Hello! Still, the counter spam! Khalil, he finds that one. It's up to Crashies. Pushing forward to help out Demon 1 as well. Reinforcements might have arrived and just in time, but Demon 1 still, he can't get the kill. It's up to Victor. Holding down towards main. Smoke in his face. He doesn't have a clue where they are. Diffuse being stuck.
Plenty of time. What a retake from Furia. I don't know how they managed to get both of those players in hell. It felt like NRG's setup should have rewarded them, in fact, because they had a double flash play with a recon dart up into hell. The players up top were lit up by the recon dart.
I mean, that much delay.
But at the same time, the counter spam just came through from Furia and both players in hell.
2 kills into the players in hell. Look at this. Lit up. That's why.
Wow. Perfect stuff.
Really nice.
And what an interesting smoke again from Liazzi. It's not on the spike, but it's just kind of like out there for him to try to teleport into, even though he got caught. The retakers from Heaven are able to utilize some of it. And here we go, another tiles crunch.
Yeah, we're into it again. This time they are not ready. NRG, the discipline has been there to contain, but they just get overwhelmed.
I mean, do you expect that to happen again, the very next round? 2 rounds in a row. Yeah. The Furia decide the exact same strategy is going to work.
Very unexpected.
The first to try to force the reaction into A, and the second, they just clean up all the kills, and Khalil was still there, ready.
Ethan. He's traded.
Spike down.
Even just a marved. Hello. 1 kill, flash dodge, but he's really just being approached now from B main angles. Spike dropped down, he has his ult. I mean, there's chances here, but he really just needs to find this one. He doesn't have a clue yet. Havoc. Sidestep, 6-3. Look at that scoreline, and remember, you know, listen, there's a Ascent defense side. Usually that team is going to be favored. It's Furia.
Yeah, but
it's looking clean.
At the same time, there are 2 big differences, right? The aggressive plays on defense are actually working. They're coming up good. And the other big thing is that Havoc has gone from the bottom of the scoreboard, 2-20, to now the top of the scoreboard.
Yeah, what a turnaround.
He's got into the groove. And that is always going to make a difference. And they were playing with half a player in the first map because presumably the nerves were getting to it. They're going to have so much confidence here as well.
NW. That is a nice attempt.
Look at the ult from Marv.
He's all the way behind them. Yep, straight onto Heaven. Demon 1's in there. Finally a kill to be found. Liazzi off to the side there, but well, it's Ethan. Stinger taking the space once more. It's all the way theirs. The plan now down. What's the post plan going to be looking like? Knives. Demon 1 choosing to use him. Oh, Ethan.
So little health.
So low, and they're all being spammed down. Demon 1 down to the 45 health. Crashes though, he's playing his time with this one. He's got his own ult as well, playing really tucked as well in a safe position straight through main. As long as he survives, it's really just quite unlosable. Demon 1 will really just ensure it, won't he?
And out of nowhere, there comes a round from NRG. As quickly as the prior went the way of Furia with that tiles crunch, instantly NRG answered back on an eco and just swarmed onto them.
Yeah.
Marv creating pressure from behind with the Omen ult. I mean, it's quite basic, the idea, really, and yet so effective from NRG because they swarm together.
Just on that 4th round, pretty essential stuff. Nice to see the setup. But yeah, we're getting a series of kills. Finally, Demon 1 as well, just really getting some value.
Yeah, he was slow to get off the mark. I don't think because of his, you know, mechanics dropping off or anything.
He's just been caught out a lot when he's just been trying to get the first one into the side. This time,
attack op.
Yeah, that's interesting. Flash again, maybe from that prior conditioning. So a similar attempt to what they were trying earlier in the half. Hoping a player will be caught there. The TP, spotted, so they know he's not going to be into that corner.
Yeah, and in theory, that means that Furia have control of A main. And in reality, they do too.
Yeah, Liazzi's just holding it.
Yeah, Liazzi's got post. Demon 1's been on a very passive angle with this operator, just looking for MW to make an aggro peek into him. But MW, again, patience, discipline, making sure that he's playing situations where NRG can't punish him, and tossing the ball back into NRG's court. It's now the attackers who've got to come up with an idea as the time ticks down.
Nice knife timing. They do have Ethan's ult though, and Liazzi playing this close one and done spot. I mean,
Ethan takes the operator. They're going for the exec.
Really? Okay. Flash. Threw over the top, MW forced off the line, and here it is. Oh, there it is, lit up. Lovely util. Clear was cleared out of that spot. Havoc trying to reposition. Attempted a flood defense, and now you might just have to call this one.
This is now 2 rounds in a row where mollies have made a massive difference. In the previous eco round where they exec'd onto A, it was Victor's nanoswarm that forced Havoc into a bad position over towards the switch. This round, they throw the KO molly from Ethan and it catches the player towards logs. This is how NRG are being able to create advantages as they go for their exec. It's making a big difference for them. And this is one of the few rounds actually that we've seen in this entire match where the time gets low, NRG are forced to do something, and they set up a big exec, and it works beautifully. They were struggling, I think, a little bit with that earlier on.
Oh, barely with the elbow peeking out.
They do not want to lose that operator.
No, it's pretty critical in order for them to just be able to hold.
Ooh. On the other side, though, NRG's money is doing fine because they won that eco round.
Last round.
Picked up all the guns off the floor. So now this is a really good attack side.
It is for NRG. It's just turned on its head.
In the last 2 rounds. That's how Ascent works.
Making it 6-6 would be really fantastic for them. But yeah, I mean, you're just seeing from these replays, the util to flush them out. Singing the praises of the initiators, but it really showed there. And Liazzi playing out one and done. Punished. Final round now. This first half of Ascent.
With Demon 1 and Marv picking up the off at the start of the round.
Okay.
And Marv just using it, you know, just in case.
Yeah.
MW was getting a little bit silly over towards Gelato, perhaps. I would assume he has a rifle ready to go, too.
MW going to be trying to set himself up here at the top mid. Not worried about the cross.
Good info, though, from that knife.
Yeah.
They know exactly where MW is playing. They know where the operator is now. They know where, you know, the aggression's happening too, because the turret caught contact over towards B main. So it's really passive here for NRG. And again, Demon 1 not following the drone. That was a real hallmark of how EG played their attack sides, was that Demon 1 would go aggressive behind the drone down mid. They're not really breaking this alarm bot, pressuring Furia too much. And it means that it's going to put pressure on this A split actually working, finding success. Liazzi is the first challenge.
Oh, here we go. Lots of players to meet him. He's got some backup. They're going to go for a reclear. Do they have util for this?
Oh,
Paranoia.
This is mad.
The Paranoia, but Havoc, I mean, he's too far ahead of it.
That's mad.
Paranoia did not catch.
Again, Furia just playing ahead of where the map kind of rewards the defenders.
And here we go, using that to clear him out. Liazzi has to respect it, has to back away. Hunter's Fury. Large connection onto the one. TP to disengage as well. He barely survives with his life. Marv facing them. Really just eager to try and take the fight straight to them now with 2 players left standing. A Furia looks so damn unlikely. Lockdown has to be used, but a counter lockdown in play. Did they have the util to clear this one? It's a nade. Wasn't quite entirely on the mark. I respect both of this one. Crashies! Spotted.
That might make it winnable for Furia.
That's 3v2. Have to make some big plays though. They know that these players are going to be cleared out, at least towards main, mainly because of that lockdown that was used. Oh, what a shot, Demon 1. Popping off at that one. That was a sharp kill. And he leaves it to Khalil. What can you do in this situation, son? I mean, absolutely nothing, but you got to make a go of it. It's not given any sort of sight line. There it is. Swing from Ethan. 6-6. Solid finish from NRG.
Yeah, half that looked like it was going to be very successful for Furia let slip in the final 3 rounds. I think broadly speaking, due to some unforced errors for Furia, this one in particular. That is a hell of a shot though from Crashies when you look at the replay. I mean, he's barely around the corner at all, and he got whacked.
One enemy remaining.
I think we just caught Crashies in the chat saying,
I don't even know.
Didn't even know.
Didn't even know at all, but still, that finish, you cannot be angry with that. That's a 6-6 half. You're moving into Ascent now on your defense side. NRG's map pick. A lot to look forward to if you are an NRG. Finally send it down to the desk to discuss things so far.
Thank Thank you so much, guys. And yeah, I mean, look, NRG obviously pulling together quite the round there at the end that, I think was a mix of things that could have gone Furia's way, could have gone NRG's way. It kind of feels like that's been the lowdown for this game, right? Every single time it feels as if NRG get like some momentum, Furia manages to find like a round win, a few round wins. So it's good to see Furia competing right back after that round loss.
Yeah, I mean, look, Furia were looking hot right off the bat. And even from the first kill of the game, Havoc comes in, wide swing out in mid, gets the pistol kill, and he had the best performing hat. Like, I look at the numbers, Mr. Havoc is at the top, and you love to see it. Honestly, Havoc was playing really, really aggressively, which is a big switch up to how he was playing in the previous game, going for a lot of aggressive plays, and honestly, I like it. He was putting himself out there.
Yeah, he really was putting himself out there in the world. I like some of the ideas too. Going for that shark attack twice in a row is pretty cool. But then we get in towards some of these later rounds, and Furia starts making some big mistakes. And it comes back to, I think, in 3 of those big rounds they lost, it was these A-site holds where they're either trying to sell that the op is somewhere else and hoping they'll push players into that op holding heaven. Both times NRG deal with it really well, get into the site, and honestly it kind of reminds me of Leviathan last year in that Furia has been saving in a lot of these man down situations, which means they're never attempting these A retakes, and NRG is just getting to close out rounds.
And it's because their site anchors are getting no kills. It's like 2 players falling sites
Either
open.
that or they're not even holding it.
It's like, we have like an op and an Odin. We're not going to be able to manage a retake here, so they end up being forced to be in a saving position. I will say NRG had a couple of nice looks, right? Like on those eco rounds. The eco rounds are the ones they're winning, timing the A main hit with the lurk coming into tree. But all things considered, I think MW Zera needed to have more impact with the operator. And it's honestly thanks to Havoc taking more opening fights that they won some of those defensive rounds.
Well, let's see if NRG can close it out in 2, or will Furia force a map 3? Brent, Sideshow, over to you.
A potential uphill battle for Furia now that they stare down at that attack side. It's not their map pick, but listen, still even.
My eyes, to be honest with you, are going to be on Ethan and Crashies on this defense because that initiating utility on Breeze was immaculate on the defense half.
Yeah.
So I'm looking towards them to kind of set the tempo for what they're going to be doing there.
Ascend plays as a map as well, where the attackers really forced as well to try and drag as much of that utility out the delays as possible before they go into the site hits. You don't want to get bogged down, you got to try and pull maybe the paranoia dart, nades.
Look at this, Brent. They made it, Furia trying to make it look like it was A, exploding onto B. There's still 3 NRG players, 4 on B. They didn't buy it for a moment.
Not at all. They've got the dart close to the corner. Doesn't actually tag onto anybody. MW close into logs, returning the fire. This time NRG, they want to try and take the fight. Conan, has he found those? 2 kills, precise, straight to the cranium. I believe he's marved in a difficult spot, but he has a lot of util to work with. 1 smoke.
Spike planted.
And Paranoia just contacting though, doesn't want to reveal his position. It's a double face at the right time for Furia, and a pistol round gained.
That's the kind of stuff that Furia have been working on. Great closeout to the round, making sure that they're disciplined in those kind of moments. And 3 out of 4 pistol rounds going the way of Furia, that is certainly going to help. I mean, if NRG had won the pistol, they might have just run away with this map. So Furia get out to a lead early in the second half. Now it's about how much they can actually hold on to that.
Yeah, slams down the brakes for NRG with all that momentum that they were accruing. But
and just something to point out, we are seeing basically full ecos coming out for the team after they lose pistol. That is a massive shift compared to last year, where we would see people going for force buys, people going for sheriff buys, relying on the half armor. Even though there has only been, I think, 1 outlaw picked in the entire match so far, I think, anyway. It does seem to have an impact on the early round economy.
All you got to do is hold tab, see what their money's looking like on the buy round, and if you suspect that they're only going to be able to buy a rifle with the half armor, you pick it up. Cheap enough purchase.
The threat is actually more dangerous than reality.
Yeah,
when it comes to the outlaw.
Bit of a repeat of what we saw earlier, I think, in the first half as well. Just the gamble stack goes a bit wrong. NRG finally grouping up here, but not gonna have too many chances. Now they do have a bit of util. A dart, a flash, paranoia from Marv, so could get dangerous with it. Smoke popping out deep, but maybe they don't want to waste the money. Keep it, play the disciplined style as well. Just go down to the spike, deny any chance for Furia to build up those ults or get any extra pocket money.
And I think this next half coming up, is going to be where we can see if Conan is able to outcall NRG's defense. Just throwing a nade in there. Good measure. I mean, what's the need, man?
Yeah.
What is the need? All good, whatever, I suppose. Get yourself an ult orb. It's a pretty important ultimate to try to get online. But yeah, to me, the player that I'm taking an eye on over towards Furia, it's not really any of the players' performance, it's how they call. Because I think that's going to be incredibly important. Navigating those defensive setups that NRG have is the key to victory for Furia. And if Conan can call that, after being on the bench last year, getting called up to the main roster, picking up the captain's shoes as IGL, this could be his moment.
Massive. A lead granted for Furia. They'd love to extend it a little bit deeper now on the bonus. There's some danger to the bonus as well. I mean, they've got 2 rifles.
I like that lineup.
Yeah.
It's a nice one from a non-committed position.
Flash now through, but this time they do want to commit. All the util being expended. Look at that, there was even a paranoia that cleared through into Gen, but nobody's onto the site. Full containment, it's the name of the game. NRG, all their players alive.
When you play
Flash ready.
Yeah. NRG are playing retake with paranoia, 2 flashes, nade, recon, everything.
Bloody hell! What the hell is going on there? Liazzi still with the 2. E30. They're making mincemeat of all of them. MW is the last one left. In the blink of an eye, this has gone all skew with still damage and a shot to finish.
While I'm hyping up all the utility that they have, Ethan just ran in and murked everyone.
Yeah. What was that, a 3-piece?
Yeah, he got a 3K. Outdoing Liazzi, who was blind, just spraying down too. But yeah, Ethan, clean, precise. We'll see it in the replay here. Lines up Liazzi, who got a pick, takes down another, and then deletes Conan.
Almost to the 4th. Nasty, nasty play.
And again, Ethan, more of a supportive player on this roster.
Yeah.
And yet, he's still able to come out with stuff like that. That's the danger of this squad.
So the bonus didn't convert like Furia perhaps were hoping for. Still enough money though to get this buy online, and now using the util. They can aim main control. Do they want to rush into this one again? Ike suppressing them. Slams down the brakes, and there's a re-exploration into mid. That's really 3 players looking here from NRG. They are fully pushed up. Victor, a chance maybe. Yep, they've waded right into it. Haven't they? Walk straight into the sideline. You kidding me? Let's doing that with the Bulldog. Plenty of players left standing as well. NRG, they hold all the ground in the world. Mid, be in their domain.
Point to that round as a defensive call, a read on what's happening on the other side, a masterpiece. And how did it's not like they threw a huge amount of utility to stop Furia from going for that A exec. They just decided to explore mid to see if it was an A split. When it wasn't, they decided to pause because they hadn't heard anything A, see if they were going to walk down cat. And they were holding just the most bizarre angles.
Yeah, I don't know if it was a KO knife earlier. They caught onto a lot of them.
My KJ's out, dude.
I mean, yeah, dude, NRG are calling it. My KJ is out mid.
Yeah.
My Killjoy is just walking into mid and killing them all.
Into mid, but I mean, I don't know if that's just a reaction off of it, but yeah, it's a great setup, a great play in the moment.
Yeah, yeah. Personally, I think what they were trying to do is maybe catch the other half of an A split off guard, and then when they realized that they had a chance to catch people as they re-exported into mid, they just set up on the nastiest angles. How does Furia get a read on that? There are, as far as I'm aware, no other team's playing that kind of style of defense as them.
That's strange. 8 to 8, evened up.
And it's not like it was given away by any piece of utility. They didn't throw a huge amount of util in mid. They just kind of walked in there. So there's nothing for Furia to get the read on. Does that incentivize Furia to do more A hits? Does that mean that they need to take mid control? It's pretty difficult to come up with an answer to stuff like that. And NRG have tied things up.
And not just that as well, though. The economy's taking a knock for Furia, so NRG set up to take the lead in this map, in the series. It's a big one. Furia the timeout, obviously anything that they've been calling probably going to be for the next one. We saw NRG, a lot of the rounds that they managed to get online on their own attack side was coming from these half-buy rounds. Maybe Furia can do something similar.
But Furia so far in this match have had very little success on the attack side. just been getting completely outdone.
Tag. Marv. Yeah, he's going to be lit up there. Has to use the paranoia and the smoke to try and exchange and get out of there. Ethan still watching. He's got his man's back, and Marv's still alive and kicking. Not for much longer. A bit of run and gun in action. Stinger. Still a gun you can buy.
It looked like he unplugged his keyboard there.
Yeah.
Just staring at the wall. He's like, I got my one. The rest of you
I
should
give
be
up.
fine.
And look at this, slowed all the way down. NRG are just holding with 3 players.
I mean, when they don't hear the plant go down, they are so ready for the exploration somewhere else. But Crashy's looked away for just a moment.
Hold up, rifle, bloody hell, MW updraft, avoiding the spam. He's in a really precarious spot. They have to double face this one now. How is that kill not claimed? Khalil, 60 health, 2 bullets, 2 targets. Gets the reload. Nade pushing him back. Out of the corner, doesn't know where they could essentially be watching. Drop down onto Dice's Ethan. He's playing this so bloody well. Out wide, crouched in the off angle. Nicely done.
It looked utterly thorough. I mean, it's a somewhat similar idea to the previous, where if you don't hear all of the exec utility going down on A, immediately alarm bells are ringing in NRG's head. Unfortunately, Crashy's looked backwards because he was thinking, wait, have they actually lurked all the way down mid behind the grass? But you could see that the thought process was there.
Is there a gun for me? Cat right in front of you.
It's grunting into the mic, as you do.
NRG with massive retake ultimates here. Not playing super heavily committed to the A site. Instead, looking to set Demon 1 up on B.
Look at him, he's playing a bit back as well, just waiting to see if they use the paranoia, which they will. Yeah, clears it through. Demon 1's back out of there. It does connect onto him though. Fast, over the top, dashing into the bag. That's Victor though. Crossfire set up, and Demon 1's there. The smoke just a little bit delayed, trying to push past it and away through it with the Hunter's Fury. Conan was hoping to clear the way for his team. They don't get access to the site.
Crashy's alone, a little isolated, and yet Furia stopped in the choke point.
He has
unable
the
to
spike.
Work further forward.
He's tugged close to market. He's got the spike.
And Demon 1.
He knows.
How does he know?
Maybe here in the TP, I'm not too sure, but Drone not seeing anything. Ooh.
What is Liazi's evacuation plan here?
Not sure. Walking all the way through into the smoke. Drop down. The counter spam. It's there, necessary really, securing that trade, but with the spike in such a precarious spot, there's no chance. What a shot. Nails him straight to the wall.
Right, Liazi just door dashed the spike to him. He just sent it straight into the smoke. I can understand he's trying to make the play there, but he was stuck in an awkward position. But man, this round has been difficult for Furia.
30 seconds left.
Again, just an unwinnable position.
I have the spike.
Oh, he's pre-firing the jump spot. 20 seconds. A chance. Maybe if Crashies will fall, but he's just playing this one so patiently, so passively. And look at that! Waiting for the flash timing. That's Ethan.
Yeah. Real immaculate play there of their defense towards B. And it's not like NRG needed to be fighting the choke point necessarily too much. Victor's just in a perfect position to collect MW. Then Demon 1 picks one up with the operator. And after that, the rest of Furia are scared to go in.
Beautiful. Nice, beautiful.
A very clean defensive round.
Yep, admiring their own work.
The old version of NRG with Finesse at the helm, I thought they pulled off their most beautiful stuff on the attack side. But in this match, this version of NRG has just been extraordinary on defense. Might be a very different identity that we see from this squad.
How much can you really do now if you are Furia? Knocked down once more to the Sheriff Buys, knives. MW. It's making a lot of noise though. They're going to be able to hear these players out towards Cat. Even the ping, I think that's Marv. Saying they could be working their way into mid. They have no control of that area.
They could do with an MW miracle round.
Drone to set him up. So there's a lot actually, getting a ton of value there with the drone MW. Backing away. Marved. Jiggle, spotted by Havoc. Through the wall though. Barely a ticker. Look at that flash as well. Really going to push him back.
The KO lineups on so many of these maps have just been perfected.
This is 35 seconds now. They're running straight into an hard anchoring setup. They've got Killjoy mollies all the way down
30
towards lane.
seconds left.
Victor and Crashies are set up for success. Hold forwards. It's all being watched for. They just know so damn aware. Furia. Oh my goodness, MW. Lucky to find that one, but we're 15 seconds left. Hello, there's a lot. Really not much time at all. You've got to try and make your way across here onto the lane. It's all being watched. Khalil with 8 seconds. Has to try and stick this one now. A chance with the timing of Demon 1. Just holding for it in case it was faked for button. 1 moment, 69 health. Alarm bot down. Has to know he's there. Bruder Box. You're joking.
That is precise.
What did he see? Show me the replay.
The alarm bot. I think, genuinely. I mean, Demon 1, he heard the reload, for starters, so he can get onto a more aggressive angle. Hopefully we see it in the replay, but, you know, he's just crept up onto that. That's... Oh. Yeah, look at this. Oh. I mean, he does see a hack.
It's too clean.
Yeah, that was disgusting. Okay, so no miracle there for Furia. They're going to have to pull this one out, grind out every single round. And these are going to get super difficult. Massive ults available, but for both teams.
Yeah. Doesn't look like they want to go fast into this one, though. Tank side op for MW. He needs to get value.
We haven't seen NRG go for any of these, you know, super aggressive flash and dash kind of plays, but Demon 1 is trying to get posted on a really deep line.
Time's there. Turret's taken care of.
They've got to know that there's an op behind this.
Yeah, it's such a common play. How do they clear it, though?
A flash, here comes from Havoc. No, it was a team blind!
Oh, my.
And that's not Havoc's fault. You know, just maybe a lack of communication, maybe Khalil just swinging a little too early. But that could have been a nice punish on Demon 1. They, in fact, even got some good damage onto it.
Yeah. Minute left in the round. Set the sights over towards A, but NRG are so damn ready.
There's a double molly setup here. I think usually to try to stop anybody pushing onto the lockdown, and Victor just rips it, not even playing it for the retake.
Holding it to delay. A main control given up. Havoc running his way all the way up to the top side of mid. He's hoping to try and pull some of these players away. He's a one-man army right now, but NRG, with them taking care of that one, Ethan is left up to him! Absolutely unbelievable. Mark towards the back. Nice jiggle. Spots the movement. No, he could have readjusted and re-pushed the positioning there and lit up like a Christmas tree.
I was told, Bren, that IGLs are supposed to get worse individually when they, you know, pick up the responsibilities, the mental bandwidth.
Yeah.
So why is Ethan performing so damn well?
Not fragging.
It's not just the top fragging. On the first map, his utility was immaculate. And the setups on this map have still been really good too.
They have.
He's had some really fantastic calls on defense in terms of how he's adjusted stuff around. I mean, that could, of course, be some of the players on the team, but we'll give the guy credit. We do for all the other IGLs in the scene. But yeah, it does not seem to have dropped off in the slightest, despite picking up the calling stick for the team.
Furia staring down a battle of defeat. Nice flash to re-clear and take control of A main for them, but it's only one round. That's all NRG need, and they've got lots of chances.
Cover going out.
The smoke. Just waiting for the right timing there, so blocking off main.
You should
Everyone grouped up. Here's the lockdown, but an ult in kind. This is going to be removing that threat almost immediately with a Hunter's Fury. So players of NRG, they can't anchor this one. Marv, good paranoia. Needs some help though from the rest of his team, and there it is. Ethan, immediately, the collapsing collide and collision course send them straight to the lower bracket. NRG are looking monstrous.
They set some damn high expectations for themselves, with Victor talking about the fact that they simply must be headed to Madrid, must be making it to these tournaments, have to be going deep. But man, the defense sides in particular today looked utterly world-class.
I mean, so well drilled.
Yeah.
Top to bottom in terms of the game plans.
The game plans, the execution, the firing and individual play, the supportive utility. I mean, really looking clean. Furia certainly pushed them. I think this squad has got more to give against other opponents. But today, they got a little outclassed on both of those sides where NRG was able to access the defense.
Yeah.
And this squad, it seems like does not need too much time to warm up. They're out the gates with a 2-0 victory.
Amazing beginning for this NRG team. One step closer as well to reaching the playoffs here of our kickoffs. It's the opening here, and like you said, Josh, you know, it's not over just yet for Furia. Get sent down into the lowers, but we'll be finding out who their opponent is actually straight after this one with that matchup. But you're right, I mean, just the individual form, I felt like you saw these highlight moments from every single player of NRG. They're not a one-man team, they're not a one-man show.
But they also happened so often together. Whereas for Furia, we actually did see some big rounds coming out from MW, but it wasn't as often. You know, it wasn't one of those games where MW took over. He was actually prevented from taking over by the way that NRG were ready for him at all times. And then also, the Aussie map 1 really turned up in an exciting manner for a rookie that we didn't expect too much from. Havoc map 2 doing really well. But getting all of that working at the same time is going to be crucial for Furia. I think today they just got outclassed a little bit. They certainly had their chances when they were on the defense side and they forced NRG to attack into them. But on the other way around, I mean, Conan had his opportunity, I think, to try to outcall the squad on the other side, Ethan, and I think he just wasn't quite up to it today.
Yeah.